I'm speechless. I don't know what to ask you.
If that's your kink, I'm so happy for you.
I will throw my old Kindle across the room because I'm not doing that tonight.
And now, here are your hosts.
Hello, fellow bookworms. Welcome to Bookmark Your Next Chapter, a podcast hosted by Katie,
Amanda,
And Kristen.
three friends who love books. In this episode, we're going to be covering chapters 1 through 23 of the book A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, the second book of the Blood and Ash series. As always, we're not going to be having any spoilers past chapter 23 of this book because we haven't read it yet. So easy peasy, no spoilers. Having said that, if you have not read the first book yet, go back and read that. We'll still be here when you're done. Come listen to this after because we may reference stuff from that book.
It kind of starts off referencing the end of the last book. So
Yeah. So like,
be very confusing.
and why would you start with the second one? I know we're fabulous.
Very confusing.
you want to be really confused.
Okay, so no spoilers past chapter 23. All right, so
let's get into it.
Let's get into it, friends. Oh, I guess we should probably say, we're going to say swear words and stuff. So if you don't want your children hearing curse words, maybe don't listen to this with around them. And we got some spice in this part of the book. So
it's bad that I actually kind of forgot.
We gonna be discussing.
I kind of did too, dude. I'm like, oh yeah.
Like I read it like 2 weeks ago. I kind of forget.
Yeah, Kristen was.
And I was like, yesterday reminded everyone to read their notes.
Did you review yours?
I did not review my own notes. I had an hour and a half nap instead.
You like I was gonna, and then I didn't.
Listen, I'm pregnant.
She's got
It's
an
allowed.
excuse,
Yeah,
friends.
literally
It's okay.
the ultimate excuse.
So anyway, if you don't want young children listening to dirty and or curse words, maybe just save this for later.
Put in some headphones.
Yeah, headphones while they play on their tablets. We all do it. Okay, so our chapter 1 is opening. Poppy is.
Do you want me to read the line?
Yeah, do you have it?
Yep.
Okay, read it.
We go home to marry my princess, as in married, to him. And then suddenly I thought about all those girlish fantasies I'd had, etc. But that's literally how the book starts.
I love it. This was my note. I said, Poppy is dumbfounded along with the rest of us as she repeats marriage and then goes into a monologue thinking about how she fantasized getting married as a little girl before she found out she was chosen. So this got me thinking, do we know how old she was when she found out she was chosen? I know she was 8 when the attack happened, but do we know how old she was when she was chosen? Was it the same time?
I think I assumed it was around the same time because
I definitely
did. She survived the attack and that's why.
Yeah.
So like when she was
and that's
with
after
your
the
parents
queen
and before
takes
that?
her.
Yeah, I don't think.
So probably around the same time.
Yeah.
Because I wondered that when I read this. I'm like, I wonder when.
Yeah, I don't think it says for sure, but I don't think her parents were saying to her, "You're the maiden.
Yeah.
You're the chosen."
Right.
Yeah.
But we'll get to this later. I think I have theories about that.
I have theories too, and I can't wait to hear all of your thoughts on this.
See, you went that way, and I think I even wrote this before I started reading.
Yeah.
I said, if we go with Cass being the quote-unquote consent king, did he announce their engagement to everyone as a way to keep her safe?
Oh, so you called that from the beginning.
I think I wrote that down.
Interesting. See,
before.
I was thinking again, like there's no consent here. Like, what do you mean?
Because it bothered me so much that there was no
really
consent.
Struggled with.
Because then I wrote underneath that, is this me just making excuses for him? I was really worried.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that how like last time you were like,
consent
king. And I was like,
I know I really struggled. And maybe that's why, like I was telling the girls before we started recording, because I'm tandem reading for the first time in my life. And right now I'm also reading Throne of Glass. No spoilers because you just go and read it if you haven't. It's very good. But anyway, I'm very wrapped up in that series right now. And to stop it, to start listening to
we have some
book,
great consent kings in that book.
Yeah, there's so many consent kings in that book. And
that's all I'll say.
But
and one thing I don't like, I think, about Cass and like the way, or maybe it's the way that this book was written, is that so much of his thought process is left like unknown to us.
Yes, because we're only getting her perspective.
Yes, so it's like that. Like you were saying, Kristen, that we learn that this is like to keep her safe and like there's a bigger plan to this. It's not just you're going to marry me and you have to do what I say. But it's like in the moment, we're thinking these things that we're thinking.
Right.
And then later on, we find out these things. And I just wish that happened sooner, but then we also wouldn't have as big of a story, I guess.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how she's written this entire book so far.
You're absolutely
Like,
right.
I was looking back on my notes from the first book and like literally the first chapter, I'm like, what is a maiden? Like, we've kind of like discovered as we go. So like it's on brand.
Yes,
But
it is.
I was just like, I really struggled at first.
I know. I think that's why I was thinking, like, I remember finishing that book and, like, waiting to talk about it to this book. And then knowing I was going to start this book, I was, like, thinking, like, oh, my gosh, like, because everything he's done,
There's
like,
more
you
to
don't have
it.
to ask me to kiss you. Like, but, like, he's like, but that's always on her. Like,
Right.
anything
her
physical
choice,
between
right.
them has kind of always been, like,
Her. Yeah.
And, like, if she initiates it, then he'll reciprocate. And I'm like, you can't be like that in one way and then be like, no, you're just marrying me. Like, you got no choice in this.
And, like, when we're reading the books, like, I know I'm skipping ahead, I'm sorry. But, like, she says it's hinted at that he knows she wants this because he can sense, like, arousal or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same point, she's still not giving consent.
Exactly.
Like, outwardly speaking, she's
still-
saying no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like,
I know.
Yeah. It's even like
it was
when
very morally
consent is
gray.
given, it can also be taken away at any point.
Yeah.
You can say no, I
Exactly.
change my
Yes.
mind. Like it's
Exactly.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So I think that's another reason why I struggled for the first little bit of this.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't lie, he wins me back towards.
Well, yeah, because we learn the real reason. It's just so strange
Yeah.
that he would drop this bomb on her
And not
explain it ahead of time. Yeah, especially when he explains, okay, we need this to be believable. This is why it's going to
Yeah.
save people. It's
Yeah.
this. She's like, yep, I'm totally on board. Well, then why would you blindside her with
Right.
that for her reaction to be
Right.
like, you idiot, this is
in
never
front
gonna...
of a bunch of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to convince people, that would have been, oh my God, I have this idea. Let me talk to her now.
Yeah.
She would have been on board because she was on board.
Right.
So like, it was kind of,
Yeah.
I think it was on
It was
purpose
very
to leave
morally
that
gray.
Yeah.
cliffhanger.
And like
to-
I understand why, because like especially with romantasy books, like the whole draw to them is the slow burn and the will they won't they, and like so I understand it's the style of writing, but I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
It feels kind of icky.
Yeah.
But anyway, that little tangent there. Sorry, friends. So I wrote a quote when she was talking about the fantasy thing, and I said, Hawk Flynn was nothing more than a figment of fantasy, just like those little girl dreams had been. Who held my hand now was the reality, Prince Castile Denier. And I said, I feel like Poppy feels exactly how we do right now. What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Like, and it was, I kind of felt like I had a loss right along with her. Cause like, even writing my notes, like going back and forth, I changed between Hawk and Cass so many times. Cause I'm like, when he was sweet, I'm like, oh, it's Hawk.
Right.
And when he was being a jackass, I'm like, fucking Castile. Like, so yeah, I am right there with Poppy. I feel very sad for her. And then I wrote a note saying, I love how the guys are all trying not to laugh when they're when she's basically calling Cass crazy. Cass is like you're going to marry me. And she's like, why on earth do you think I would marry you? Like, are you a crazy person? And like the other guys are like,
right.
and
That's my point. Like, he wanted them to believe this.
right. Well, like this
Like,
is such a silly way to go.
It was a
about
weird,
Yeah.
like that part didn't go with the whole story of his reasoning. I mean, I believe that was his reasoning, but I feel like that part
Yeah.
should have happened a little
line
bit
up.
differently to make that make more sense. But I think it was for dramatic effect of like cliffhanger and then
Yeah,
I want to read the next book and know
Right.
what
Yeah.
happened. And
I know. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then Castile goes, which part confuses you? And Poppy says, the part where you think I would actually marry you. Oh!
burn.
So I said, I feel like with the first book, this book is going to make us question what's going on, and we're going to learn as we read. I truly feel right now Castile knows something that obviously we don't yet. My theory is that they are mates or whatever the equivalent is for Atlanteans. And he knew that when he tasted her blood, which is why he keeps insisting that Poppy will marry him. I said, but I won't lie, right now, this kind of just sounds like he doesn't care about her opinion on the matter, and it's very annoying.
I think I was on similar lines with you because I wrote, like, I think we were maybe wrong about her having, like, a woven bond because we were questioning, like, her blood.
Yeah.
And I can't remember when that was cleared up. And I said, would Cass have tasted it when he tasted her blood?
Yeah.
And then a new bond. Do Atlanteans have quote unquote soulmates.
Spoiler alert! Yes, they do.
But not really.
We were on it.
It's in episodes 1 to 23.
Chapter 23. Right where we had to stop.
Right? The worst spot.
For real though.
But
But like he admits to her, yes, I compulsed you to make you drink.
yeah.
Because he's talking about all the special powers that.
Yes. She basically
Mhm.
said, like, it's almost as if he made me do that.
Yes. And then I was just propping myself up here. I said, I know I said it already, but damn, I love being vindicated. Her mentioning all the Wolven have the same colored eyes.
Right?
It is very prevalent in his.
Even when they talk about the Atlanteans and the eye color and the
Yes.
golden and how she kept making a point, like, well, my eye's this and this
Yes.
eye's that. Like,
Yeah.
you're
I'm like,
I was
you were
also
in
like,
my brain.
I think earlier I was like, is Elijah something else? He has hazel gold eyes, and I think I meant to go back and check eye color, but obviously I didn't review my
Yeah.
notes.
yeah. We said, have they told us, like, I'm assuming he's Atlantean.
I read this in like 2 days, and I don't have any other notes about Elijah.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, like, I don't have any notes regarding his species.
I mean, I'm assuming.
I do have other mentions of him, but not his species.
I'm assuming Atlantean, especially given
I
the eye
would
color,
assume
but
Yeah.
it
I
didn't
know if it
like,
was ever said or
I
not.
don't think so.
I don't think we know a lot about him yet.
No.
I feel like, but I enjoyed him in this book. He was quite funny.
I really like Kieran.
Me?
Say.
My notes
Love
are going to
him.
say that
Love him.
100 times. I love
Like,
the.
screw Cass. Kieran,
Yeah.
he's my guy. Like,
No, he's so cute. I just love their like banter back and
Yes.
forth. And although, having said that, I really hope that they don't do a love triangle. Like,
Ugh.
that's not.
oh, that would be the worst
I
thing
hate-
ever.
I don't think it will be
I
because
don't
of the
think so.
bond.
They're given the bond.
Yeah,
but,
I think you're right.
but I will be very angry. I'm like, can opposite sex just be friends for once? Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
like
Yes.
please. But anyway,
That would suck. I never been that didn't cross my
I
mind.
know. I
and
was
that would be the
thinking
worst
that
thing
because I was
ever.
like, I'm really growing to like him, and I feel like she's doing that for a purpose. I'm like, we're either going to lose him or he's going to like love interest get in, and I'm like, God, please.
But
don't
it's
do that.
interesting how he is like the reason she's learning that she loves Cass.
Right.
Yeah.
So it would be really strange, I hope, now for that to happen.
Yeah.
But-
I don't think it will. Like, I don't think we're looking at that now, but that was as we were
That's fair.
starting
I
to
could
read
see
it.
that.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh God, I hope not. Especially with like the foreshadowing of the scene with the eyes before they go down to the beach. And I was like, why is it like it almost seemed like foreshadowing when he says, oh, well, he saw me as a threat because I was in the room
Yeah.
when stuff was going on.
Interesting.
So I'm like, God, I hope this is not foreshadowing.
Do you think it's a threat just because of what was happening and he's male
Yes.
species?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it's more of like
Yeah.
he was possessive threat.
Yeah.
This
And
is
it's
mine.
weird.
I must protect what's mine.
when, I mean, we can get into this obviously when we're near the end of the podcast, but when they went to the beach, didn't he say something like, she's like, shouldn't we go check on Cass? And he's like, oh, he's fine. Or like, it sounded very like, it was strange.
Like brushed it off.
Yes.
Whatever. Yeah.
And I was like, huh, that seems weird to me.
Yeah. So I wrote a quote from Poppy here. I said, I was no longer the maiden bound to rules that prevented me from having a say in matters of my own life. I would no longer be controlled, and I could and would push harder than this. And I went, yes, Poppy.
Yeah.
Yes.
The big turn in character there.
Yes.
Which is nice.
Like the character growth with her. I'm just like,
I was so happy with it. Yeah. Like, yes.
yep. I appreciate
And like, okay, not to
tangents
go back.
again.
Yeah. But not to be like, I'm so glad Cass was like, no, you have to marry me. But that happening helped her character development.
It's true.
Of like, you know what? No.
Like, fuck that.
I'm not going to be told what
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
for the first time in my life. And I'm going to say, this isn't what I want.
Yeah.
Like, so it was kind of nice to see that growth in her.
Yes.
Like advocating for what she wanted and doing what she wanted versus what has always been expected of her. And in that moment, there was a clear expectation of what her future was going to be. And she was like, no, actually.
Yes.
Like,
I'm
that
not
was kinda
gonna do
nice.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
to see that
It
part
kind
of
of
her
helped
come
her
out.
grow.
Yeah.
So they're having this conversation at the table. Cass has publicly said, you're going to marry me. And she's publicly saying,
No.
okay, so now Lindell, which is the guy that Cass is going to end up murdering, starts pushing back because he's like, I'm not going to choose
I
someone.
do
who's
not choose her. I
choosing-
will never choose her.
Yeah, I'm not choosing someone who's not choosing my prince. And because Kieran, our king, love him, was like, I'm going to choose whatever Cass chooses. So then Lindell says he won't accept Poppy, mentions that she was raised as an outsider and that Poppy doesn't even accept Cass. And I said in quotes, and we're supposed to believe that she will bond with you. And I said, bond, you say? Like a mating bond?
Which is interesting because this is also foreshadowing to
Right.
some sort of bond that does exist,
Yes.
but we don't know like to what extent that might
Right.
be.
So I'm like,
And in this, I'm still thinking maybe she's part wolf.
I know.
And maybe
I
two
know.
wolves can bond to one person.
Right.
Like I was really stuck on that.
And like when he said bond, like in that moment, obviously I'm thinking mating bond. That's what I've had in my head this whole time. But now that we know it's a heart bond or whatever they worded it as, do you think that more than just Kieran knew? And like, did Lindell know at that point?
I don't think Lindell knew that they were bonded. I think they know that a bond exists between Atlanteans called a heart bond. And I think that's an Atlantean thing. Atlanteans can have a heart bond. And I think that he is thinking in this moment, Cass is probably hoping that they're heart bonded.
Oh,
Like, I think that's what he's saying. You expect, yes.
Okay. I'm like,
That's
now
how I
reading this back, I'm
interpret
like,
that.
did he know?
No, is that's what he's like, you expecting us to believe that something like that's happening?
Yeah.
When they're like, clearly not, because she's rejecting you. But Kieran, on the other hand, is like...
See, I think it's different. Like, I didn't go that way because, like, in my head, like, because I've read a lot of like fantasy,
Sure.
I'm like, mating bonds, like, you don't necessarily, like, you have to accept it, but it's like, in the ones I've read, like, it's not really like you choose, like, I want to bond to this person.
Right.
So I'm wondering if what Lindell is seeing is like, she's going to reject the bond. Like, just simply reject. Like,
so, like, you think he knows?
I think he might have an idea that they might be bonded or have that bond, but that she's going to reject the bond.
In this scenario, I would have never even thought it was an option. In my concept of a bond would be, it's just there's nothing you can do about it, and it's going to happen. But it's interesting to think that maybe that in this situation, she could reject it. I don't know.
Okay, so then Lindell is going off, and he says, you did this to our kingdom, and I will not choose that Scarface bitch. And I went, oh,
I know, it was like,
damn our fighting words. Like, we all knew what was happening, right?
Yeah.
Chapter ends, Castile saying if he had stopped at questioning his motives and saying that he just can't accept Poppy, then he could have overlooked it. But insulting Poppy and threatening her, he can't forgive that or forget it. And then he literally rips out Lindell's heart. And I went, holy F. And I said, also Vampire Diaries, anyone. Because I know you two would not
here. This, I think, also, like, looking back on it further, like, shows a bond because, like,
possessive.
Yeah, possessive. Like,
he's like, you're dead.
Yeah. He's like, you can
calm down.
You can talk crap about me, but like, get your name out of my bond mates.
Yeah,
like, you know,
get my bond mate out of your mouth.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Words are hard.
Do you think that Cass knows that it's a heart bond?
Yes.
And he's waiting for
100%.
I do.
He knows.
And I think that's why Kieran knows.
Yeah.
Because either they've talked about
Kieran
it or
is only
Kieran knows
saying
through the
this
bond.
to her because he wants to save Cass's life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, I just love Kieran.
I know, me too.
He's so cute. Okay, so now we're moving on to chapter 2. Okay, so chapter 2 opens with people talking and laughing, but no one moving. Poppy is in disbelief. Castile says, you probably think that was excessive. It wasn't. No one speaks to you like that and lives. And at least I gave him a quick death. There is some dignity in that. So already her words are like sinking in with him.
Yeah.
But I just loved it. You probably think that was excessive. Maybe just a little.
That feels like an offside to, like, you know, in those TV shows when they look to the audience, you're like, you might think that's excessive, but it wasn't.
Oh, so I wrote, someone says, so when is the wedding? Okay, that's a transition.
Some comic relief there.
Yeah. There are so many times in this book that I actually like laughed out loud. Like,
yeah, it was good. This was a good.
Yeah,
this was good.
Like, I really enjoyed it. It was very lighthearted. I liked it.
Lighthearted after we just talked about someone's heart getting ripped out of the chest. He was a lot lighthearted.
He's a lot lighthearted now.
My heart, yeah.
Lighter hearted
like, how am I trying to be punny and I can't do it? He's lighter because he has less of a heart.
Lighter hearted.
Thank you. He's lighter hearted. That would have been a lot funnier had I just said it with it.
It's a good thing we don't like talk into a podcast. You know, it's fine. Everyone knows we were good at words. I put a comment about Poppy's attitude, which also, like, appreciating this book. But Kieran asks her if she wants to go back to her room, and she responds with, "You mean my cell?" And Castile pops in and says, "We've already had this conversation." And she says, "I don't care." And then she goes to Kieran and says, "I would like to return to my more comfortable, not nearly as drafty cell. And I assume I won't be permitted to walk there by myself." And I just put her sass is amazing. So then they get up to leave. But before they can go, Castile stops her and says, "We're about to have company. Fight me all you want later, and I will probably enjoy it. But please don't fight me right now."
Before you go any further,
Yeah.
Are you going to talk about that sentence exactly? Like what you just read?
You just said?
That was it.
Okay, no, because I wrote here, and that just timed in with your sentence, that what gives me hope is with Cass is he never expected Poppy to be any less than herself.
Yes.
He literally says there, like, "I expect you to fight me. I want you to."
Yes.
So that was like, okay, he can't.
You
And he
are.
says that again later, too, once we start finding out more.
I know. I'm like, how is he forcing her? This is where I was still, I'm like, I don't think he's going to force the fact, because
so it's like these things are contradicting what's happening right now.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's like Jennifer was like, "It's okay, guys. It's okay.
It's
Here's
okay.
a little bread.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay."
Please don't.
I so struggled though, and I'm like, am I making an excuse for in my head constantly I'm like, am I just making an excuse because we love a morally gray king? Like,
right.
I'm like, no, I can't make an excuse. Like, no, this isn't acceptable.
I really,
But anyway,
really struggled with the first bit of this half. But yeah, so this is when Alistair, who at the beginning I did not like, and at the end I love.
I have on chapter 12, my first note, I like Alice.
Yes. I wrote somewhere in here, I feel really bad for saying I didn't like Alistair.
I think the way Cass is making him seem right now, where he's like, "Do not fight me."
Yeah.
Like, already we're like, "Oh, who is this guy?"
Right.
Like,
Yes.
he's dangerous.
Yeah.
He's not a friend of Poppy. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Before
Which,
we even,
why was he so worried about?
I think because I took it as more,
No, no.
he was more worried about Alistair calling, like, that's fake. And he wants Alistair.
He made Poppy seem like her life was in danger if she fucked this up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he oversold it,
Oh.
but maybe that's also the possessiveness of the mating bond we know now.
True.
But
Also not knowing at this point that we know about like Shay, and
Right.
that was his daughter.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it was probably like he is going to be the hardest person to sell.
Yeah.
yeah,
Which,
Because
like,
of
I
that.
understand, but like the way he was wording it was like he's a threat to your safety,
yeah,
and I know
That's fair.
understand
Maybe
why.
if at that point right away he didn't believe,
Like he would
there
have
would
killed her.
have been
yeah.
potentially. I don't know.
Because like he just seems like good
You're right
people.
though.
I
It
can't-
did
Yeah.
feel like this guy is
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
I was worried. I thought he'd be bad, but
Yeah.
I don't think I totally thought that, because like immediately like they say, Poppy thinks like his voice. It sounded so familiar to me, and I was like, I know. I was like, is he related to Victor?
I wrote
That would be amazing. What a plot twist.
And the name sounded familiar, but I couldn't find any reference of it.
I
I
said
don't know
the
why.
person Cass is talking about is Wolven. The Wolven sounds like Victor. Alistair Davenwell, we find out is his name, is the advisor to the king and the queen, sort of like an uncle to Castile and Malik. And then she makes the comment about Victor. And so I was like, I wrote down, I was like, are they related? And I said, this is probably just me being crazy, but like, what if he came back from the dead and it's actually Victor reincarnated?
Oh, you were so funny. He knew him his whole life.
I know.
I just Victor.
But you know what? There's a reason. We don't know it yet, but there's a reason why
that
he sounds like Victor.
Yeah, you're right.
Either Victor
It
was a
would be
descendant
cool
of
if-
his.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
There has to be a reason.
Yeah, there's no way that just gets thrown away as like
No.
a toss away. That's
Not like all the eye colors.
Right.
Like not when we know.
yes.
And
Jennifer
it's been
gives
mentioned
cues
more
like
than
that.
once since this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
voice.
So I'm very curious to see how that pans out. It's definitely going to be something. But yeah, when she said that, I was like, oh, Victor, my heart. And then so they leave at this point, Kieran and Poppy.
Yeah.
They only see that introduction and then they leave.
Yeah.
And as they're walking back, Kieran is smelling her and telling her she smells like death. I still don't
This
really
me
understand
too.
this.
I'm like, this means something.
Yeah.
And the fact it didn't get brought up,
I know.
there was so many times I was like, this is what we're gonna learn. And then we
Yeah.
don't.
I know. So like, what does that mean? Is it something to do with her powers?
I don't know.
Like,
I have been stewing about that.
because he's like,
It was he makes a big deal out of
Yeah.
it. The few sentences.
like
he was like,
stops
whoa.
them and
Like, you smell different right now.
yeah.
And she's like, huh? And then it's sort of like,
And then
never
it's just
mind.
never brought up again. I don't even remember what his excuse was when she asks what he means. Can you find it in the book,
I
Kristen?
just had it.
Because I was like, is this literally just not going to get addressed again? And it doesn't. At least not up until chapter 23.
You don't understand. So you
And it
smell of
sounds-
death. Wow, thanks. But if I do, that's not my fault. You don't understand. Kieran eyed me for a moment longer and then turned, starting up the stairwell once more. No, I didn't understand, and I really didn't want to. I smelled the sleeve of my tunic. It smelled like roasted meat. Earlier you said you didn't feel any sympathy for them, he said as I followed him. That hasn't changed. So, like, it just kind of...
Subject's changed.
Yeah.
Subject
Like, do you
changed.
think that this has to do with this bond? Because when he said, like, you don't understand, like, it was like, this means something.
Yeah, like it was
you
a
don't
big deal.
So it's like, do you think this could be related to the bonding thing and then Cass basically, like, having to feed off of her now, and maybe something's happening to her now that they're bonded? He's tasted her blood. Like,
How did they describe
I don't
what
think
happens
so.
if an Atlantean doesn't drink blood?
They go...
they just go, like, basically feral. Like,
Yeah.
what happened to him and what he did to her was, like, on the way to being there.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I was thinking about...
Like, you're just a monster.
no, sorry, I was
basically.
thinking about the vampire, how they kind of, like, disintegrate, kind of.
Yeah.
But that was vampire, that's not. I wonder what the death thing means.
I don't even think I picked up on that. I didn't write a note
Oh,
about
really?
it. Yeah.
I mean, nuts.
Well,
Every
see, the way
time
that they
stuff
read
happens,
it in the book, like, he's like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a,
Oh.
what is it?
Me too.
And then it just
Oh my
not talked
God.
about.
And to like, we're like 20 something chapters later than
Yeah.
that, and still,
And it hasn't been brought up, and this is chapter 2. Like,
Yeah.
What?
I wonder if it relates back to, like, Cass is killed because of her. Like, for her.
Oh.
But he knew whatever the reason is.
Yeah.
It's almost like
He
oh,
knows.
well, this happens to people, and when this happens, this
Right.
is what it means.
Right.
Like, it was a very like.
Yeah.
I hope that
As we're
comes back
talking
in.
about it, I'm like, maybe it's something like in the future. Like,
I hope it
she's
comes
going
back
to
in.
cause death.
Yeah, like, I hope this comes back in. I thought maybe it was something with her power, like maybe something's changing with her power.
Maybe it's a woven power.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah.
their scent, whatever. So maybe when you can smell death on someone, that something, someone close to you. I don't know.
And then I just wrote, I really like Kieran. I feel like he is good people.
I had, like, growth from Poppy with her combo with Kieran. I love it.
Yes. So chapter ends with Poppy.
I still have
asking-
more.
Oh, sorry, you go then. You go.
What does it end with, though? Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead. Because this relates.
I'm such an idiot. I should have went back and read my notes. I'm going to read exactly what this says. Chapter ends with Poppy asking Kieran if she should fear Cass. His response, type out here.
But you didn't type it out.
Clearly did not do. Kristen.
He has done some things you might find unforgivable, things that would haunt your sleep and leave you with nightmares long after you wake. He may hate being called the Dark One, but he's earned that name. Kieran's pale eyes met mine as a shiver curled its way down my spine. But he's the one thing in all the kingdoms that you, and only you, never have to fear. And this is where I'm like, Kieran knows something, saying Cass is the one thing you never have to fear. And again, is it a bond where he literally can't hurt her and Kieran can smell it?
See, we're on to you, Jennifer. We're on to you.
And maybe, again, jumping ahead to the end of chapter 23, or I guess middle maybe, when whatever we're going to call this attack on her happened, had they not been bonded, do we think she would be dead?
Yes.
And that's the only reason
100%.
is because he physically couldn't because of bond.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why Kieran
And he
is
hasn't lost
talking about
full
it.
control yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you think if he lost full control, if the bond would still be strong enough?
To protect her?
Yeah, if it was anyone else, it wouldn't. But if it was her,
I think so.
and maybe that solidified to Kieran right then and there that they are
Yeah.
mates or
Oh,
whatever.
maybe.
Like maybe that was his like, it's
For
a fact is,
sure.
or you'd be dead.
I still think he knows now, like at chapter 2, that they are
Maybe he
heart bonded.
assumes now.
Yeah, I think he knows. Like I think he can. Like at this point, I'm like maybe he can smell it
His sense, yeah.
because like if you think of like a dog can scent you, not to like make Wolven into dogs, but like
Yeah.
dogs can smell your scent, but they can smell. They know my scent, but they know when I've touched something else. And like I
Yeah.
think,
Like when you go to see another dog and they're like,
Yeah.
you cheated on me.
yeah. So I think like when they are heart bonded, like their scents kind of intertwine.
Hmm.
And so like
That
you
makes
can
sense.
smell,
Like
yeah.
a little bit of both of
Yeah.
them, both of
Interesting.
them.
So I think Kieran can scent it, and that's why he knows. Because he doesn't say, like, you might not have to fear him. He says,
It was a fact.
you never,
You're right.
ever, and only you never have to fear him.
You're right.
It's like
It's a fact.
straight up fact
Yeah.
for him.
I like the idea of the bond, like, you can't hurt your bonded. Like, I kind of like that.
I don't think you can, because like if you think about how
'Cause it
like
would, hurt you.
they're perceived, if you think of how they're perceived and like kind of animalistic, like as we talked about earlier, like sorry, I'm talking too fast and like I'm starting to lose my breath.
She's 22 weeks pregnant, people.
That's so funny.
It was
This
so
is why we're recording so far in advance, because she's going to have a newborn soon.
it was so bad this morning. I couldn't breathe. I'm like, oh god. But anyway, if we go back to like these possessive, like they kind of bring it down to more like animalistic, like that is a part of them. They are protective over that person. Like he would have maybe killed Kieran because he was protective over her, and I think killing her would have been like, it would have broken something inside of him.
Yeah.
And I don't think like
It's
you're
like attacking a piece of you, right?
yeah, like we don't like typically seek to harm ourselves. Like we won't hurt ourselves, and so he wouldn't hurt himself by hurting her because they're connected.
So here, to play devil's advocate, because this just popped into my head, if they are heart bonded, and that's what that means, she stabbed him in the heart. Why?
But she hasn't accepted it yet.
But
If it goes
we're
along the same rules.
assuming that
It also wouldn't have killed him.
right, but he could do something to harm her that doesn't kill her. But I don't
mean,
think
technically,
he's
he's hurting her emotionally.
Yeah,
She struggles a lot in this chapter.
That's true, but that's a little bit different. Like if you harm someone
he
physically
can't harm her.
you are doing that intentionally. Like that's an intentional thing. Where to hurt somebody emotionally doesn't necessarily.
He's also pure Atlantean. She's only part Atlantean.
True,
His
true.
baser
That's
instincts,
So whatever bond he
instincts,
has is full.
Yeah.
yes,
where maybe
he's
whatever she's
accepted it.
affected with.
She hasn't accepted it, but she's also like
And his instincts are
only half or whatever Atlantean, and he's full-blooded Atlantean. And like
That's fair.
he's that line. I can't remember the line he is, and I think isn't that like a strong
elemental.
Yeah.
Elemental.
like he's also like king, and like so you think he's like higher
Yeah.
power.
He's more potent.
Yeah.
Okay, so then chapter 3 opens and she's now back in her cell. And I said, I really do believe that they are bond mates, but why is he keeping her in her cell? I don't understand. Like I
think
so
that's to
sad
keep her
about this.
safe.
It is, but like,
like,
why?
It's the bedroom that they share. That she's in at this point.
No. This is the cell still in the dungeons, because she goes back to it later and she's like, oh, this is bringing me back to whatever.
For some
No,
reason, I thought at this point she was in the bedroom.
Pacing in front of the narrow window that was too small to escape from, I stared at the door. Had been locked from the outside, just like a cell.
I don't think she's in a cell.
I think she's in their
That
bedroom.
room that has like
Is
the bath.
she?
Oh,
Yeah, I
her,
looked
like,
to the bed. My
her
stomach
baby that
dipped.
She's like, this isn't what we
Yeah.
do in our town. I'm
Yeah.
sure. She's referencing.
I know
as a
she
cell.
ends up in a room, but is that right now?
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
she's
pretty
in the
sure it
room.
is. But
'Cause
to
she talks
her,
about, like,
she's
yeah.
in a cell because it's still a dungeon.
Oh, okay.
It's
Maybe
like-
I just misunderstood. I thought it was a cell as well. Okay, never mind then. But still.
But still, you're captive. Like you
Yeah.
can't leave. It's
And I said, listening to Poppy talk about how it feels like she's lost Hawk and how she had so much love for the queen that she knew as a caregiver, and now feels betrayed by both of them. This is just so sad.
I feel a bit like maybe the queen isn't bad, but I know she is.
Yeah.
But like it's like maybe
you're feeling like Poppy does. Like, how can
Yeah.
it be true?
yeah,
Because
like
like
because
Poppy,
her experiences with this
Yeah.
lady were like the way she was trying to tell Poppy like you're beautiful even with your scars and stuff.
yeah,
Like she didn't need to say those things to
No.
Poppy.
Unpopular opinion, I believe the queen was grooming Poppy.
Yeah, I think she was too.
Like, I did not feel like she's like,
I know now, like
even this chapter, like, I'm like, how do we know the queen allowed Poppy's mom to leave? Like, I've never
I don't
believed the
think
queen to be
that
good.
now. I thought she was good.
No.
But like you're saying, like how Poppy was, it was like, why would she say those things? Like she didn't have to. She could be nice without going that next extra level
Right.
to make sure her feelings weren't hurt. It's like, why would you do
But
that?
that's exactly how she got Poppy to love her. Like, by
You're-
going that extra
I
mile.
think for sure. I think she's guilty. I think she set up Poppy to get her. feelings.
Yeah.
Like
think
I
so,
think all of
too.
that was a setup.
Because I think it talks
Because
about
they
it.
learned about.
I think
Yeah.
so.
And I think she talks about it in the first book, how, like, the queen was there to save her. I'm like, how did the queen know they were being attacked? Why would they send the queen for someone they let go?
I
Just
don't
don't say
think
no.
that, I know we're going to get into it later, but I'm going to say now. I think because she always says like, oh, well, like for the first time ever, the queen gave my mom a pass. She didn't have to ascend. What I think happened is mama found out what really happens when you ascend.
Yes.
And she said, I'm not fucking doing that. And the queen says, well, you're fucking dying.
So I wrote, she was young.
That's a different thought, but.
Yeah, because I also had like, she's young. Is this a lie fed to her by the queen? And they were fleeing.
Mm-hmm. Because they knew.
100%.
They knew either. Okay, can I just go full theory right now?
Yeah.
I have.
Yes, and then I'll tell you my theory, but I think your next theory might be similar to what I think.
So what I think happened is because we know that her and her brother, Ian, are not full siblings. Right now we're being told, well,
we don't know that for sure. We don't know that he's ascended.
We're pretty sure.
But in your theory.
In my theory, he is ascended.
Okay.
So in my theory, they cannot be full siblings because Atlanteans cannot ascend. So we're being told right now, Ian's adopted. What I think happened is
she's
Poppy's adopted. And they knew Poppy was either full or part Atlantean by whoever the parents were. I don't know what happened, but that's how they found out what the fuck was happening. And they're like, the fuck? They adopted Poppy and just said, yep, this is our kid. They're trying to get her out. They're like, we need to move. We need to leave.
Poppy's parents were just trying to save her.
Because they know what's going to happen if the queen finds out what Poppy actually is. So they went to go leave, and then the queen's like, off with her head.
Interesting.
That's my theory.
I believe it.
I think that one of her parents is full Atlantean, and I think that they were fleeing because of that. Like, I think one of them was Atlantean, one of them was not.
So you think she's birth child of them?
She's birth child of one of them.
So you think Ian is adopted?
I think...
Or you think he's not ascended?
I think in my head that he's not ascended.
You don't think he's ascended?
Because it hasn't been confirmed. What's his face? I think said he saw him.
Yeah,
only at night.
They see him only at night.
It technically hasn't been confirmed he's ascended.
Yes.
So I'm thinking either A, they want Poppy to believe he's still alive, so they're...
Like he's dead, you think?
Either maybe he's dead and there's someone that looks similar to him of whatever. Maybe he... I don't know. I feel like he's not ascended. I feel like it's strange that they haven't 100% confirmed it at this point.
That's true. It hasn't.
Why wouldn't they have at this point?
I just think it'd be too hard for him to hide as part or full Atlantean where they want his blood.
What if, when they go
to
save Malik, her brother's there instead?
And
because
Malik
when he went to be ascended, he couldn't be because he's part Atlantean.
That could be.
And she is shocked because the whole point is to save Malik and then save her brother. And that they're going to go into this and it's going to turn into a save her brother mission.
And what do you think happened with Malik? Do you think he's dead?
I don't know.
What do you guys think? Do you think Malik's dead?
I think it did. So Malik, was he bonded with somebody?
Yeah, Wolven.
And did that Wolven die?
Yes, I believe.
Did it die in a war?
I think trying to get to him. I think they said trying to get to him.
That is what happened. But I don't know for sure. But I do think that one of her parents was Atlantean. I do think they were trying to run away. I think that the Atlantean told the non-Atlantean that, and that they're trying to run away. Maybe one of her parents are still alive because I don't think they talked about both specifically being killed. I don't know. But
her parents? Poppy's?
Yes.
They both died that night of the attack.
For sure died? Like she knows they're dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Presumes them dead because what she was told.
Well, she definitely sees the mom die. The mom's killed in front of her.
Because every time she does that memory in her brain too, I don't think that there's much conversation about her dad. Her dad kind of had left and they were hiding. I don't know, but I think one of them is Atlantean.
I think
that,
like going with Harry Potter, like the dad went out to protect them,
like
hoping
James
mom.
Potter?
Yeah. And I think I think dad died and then mom died and then they got Poppy.
But I do think that the queen knew that she was Atlantean and that's how that happened. I think they're like, oh, shit, they caught us. But I do think one of the parents was Atlantean.
But why wouldn't they like keep the parent alive then and then use the parent as a feeder? If they knew Poppy's Atlantean,
but there's something about
there has to be
special with her gifts. But I guess that gift
they wouldn't know that
bloodline, and that bloodline has to do with her.
Yeah,
the same bloodline.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know for sure, but that's what I think.
Okay, I just had a thought when you guys were talking about Malik, Malik's bonded mate or whatever.
Yeah.
What if it's Shay?
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Because if what's his face is a Wolven, then Shay
is Wolven.
But the problem is,
and what if that's the heartbreak?
Yeah,
because she went after.
But okay,
Because she's always
that would
referred to
be
as
very
friends.
interesting, because she may have died trying to save Malik.
And
Maybe she
Alistair
died.
says her death is his to discuss, not me.
Yes.
So maybe they were
But-
engaged, but then found out that she's actually bonded
There's
to the
no
brother.
way.
But that would just be a woven bond, and that can be just friends. Like Kieran is woven bonded to Cass, and they're just friends.
But it's a different kind of bond. It's not a woven bond. It's a different kind of bond.
No,
Kieran to Cass.
bonded to an Atlantean.
Yeah.
Malik is an Atlantean. Shay is a wolf. So the Shay-Malik bond
Oh,
would
I
be
see
a
what you're
woven
saying.
bond. It could just
be friends.
But there could be a bond there.
There absolutely could.
Yeah.
I had that thought when you were saying, because I missed that part that his bond was a woven, and I was like, but if we're thinking Shay is woven,
Yeah.
It does seem silly to think that if you're not bonded, why wouldn't you marry? But still, why wouldn't you marry if you were two dudes? Like,
Right.
there's really
Yeah.
no, like,
yeah, you can.
So you're right. They could have just been. And imagine the fight that would have.
Because that would also be why she has so much sadness about both thinking about, why he has so much sadness thinking about his brother and Shay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Do
it's.
you think he was trapped before Malik? Malik comes to save him, but she doesn't. But then when he's trapped, she goes to save him. I guess they're bonded. I don't know.
Or they all go at the
Because
same
if she was
time.
bonded to him,
Yeah.
she'd be feeling all that pain. Like, you're
Yeah.
You're right.
I think I like that
That's
theory.
a really viable theory.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if we're right.
That's cool.
Anyway, sorry. Tangents
But anyways,
again.
I do think that the queen knew.
Yes.
And I just hate that.
I know.
And part of me is like, maybe the queen knew and was trying to actually save Poppy, and maybe we'll learn that she's somebody and was hoping to start a revolution too, but probably not. That's just my wishful
I had
thinking.
I'm like, you guys are like, I feel so bad about the queen. I'm like, no, I thought she was like, I
She's
did not
evil from-
believe.
she's Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I think I knew I had theories she was evil from the get-go, and like, I can't let it go. I'm like the dog with bone that I can't let go.
In her dreams, you know how she like says this Poppy type poem?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think that's her dad? Do you think it's the queen saying this poem, or someone as they kill her parents? Like, what do you think that?
I don't
I think
know, but
I
it's
can't remember it.
creepy.
Yeah.
It's, I wrote it down.
Well, we can
I'm
get
getting
to it when
ahead,
we
yeah,
get
we
to
can
there.
get
Yeah, we'll get to it, but I did write it down. It's very creepy.
What chapter are we on? 3?
Sorry, chapter 3. So
We're an hour in.
but you know what? We're talking about a lot of our theories as we go. So like when we get to those
Yeah.
chapters, we would have already mentioned that. So it all comes out in the wash. It's fine. Everything's fine. So now we're at the point where Poppy's like, fuck this. I'm getting out of here. I know how to pick a lock because my brother taught me. And I'm like, I freaking love this. And then I put, also, I can't believe she thinks this is going to work.
I put, surely someone's following her. The next line, call it. LOL.
Actually, this is how I put, wow, I'm shocked she made it to the forest. And there's Kieran.
There it is.
So she runs out into the forest. She's like, yeah. And Kieran's like, what are you doing? Chapter ends with Poppy saying, I'm not going back to that keep. You'll have to force me and I won't make it easy. I'll fight you. Cass, if you're going to fight you'll fight me, princess. And then the chapter ends.
Kind of would have liked to see her fight Kieran.
I know, right? I love Kieran.
So they're going to fight Cass and what's her face. Okay, I'm going to talk about something that's not really specific to this, but just something that's been bothering me. 2 things with Poppy. And one is it's almost seeming, I don't know if forced is the right word, but you know how like Cass clearly is in love with her.
Yeah.
And she keeps denying that. She keeps saying like, there was something in the second chapter when he rips the heart out of whatever, and he said like, anyone that talks to you like that doesn't get away with it. It's like crazy extreme things like this are happening, and she is rationalizing to herself like, he doesn't care for me, these are all lies. Like, to me it almost feels almost fake, and not fake like Poppy's fake, but almost in the writing it's like, how many things can happen before like it's not so obvious. Like, I'm having a hard time almost believing when it's like, do you get what I'm saying? Like how you
have a hard time believing she doesn't see
yes
it.
I'm like,
yes.
what do you mean you still can't see? Like, you're not she's not stupid, like she's very overly logical, and it almost seems like difficult to read all of the like excuses she makes as to how he doesn't actually feel for her. Because, like, it just feels so blatantly obvious to me.
I think
Do you know what I'm
it's-
saying?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
I
in
get
a writing
exactly what
style
you're
almost.
saying.
Like, it's like, this is almost not even believable anymore.
I think she's having a hard time, like, seeing it because she's been lied to so often, though. Like, I think that's where it comes in. I think it's a trauma response for her, is that, like, I've been lied to, you know, the queen told me she loved me. She told me all these nice things, but, like, what if she was wrong? And, like, Victor at the end was like this. Like, I think there's so many things that have happened to her that have...
Because he has never ever said, like, I love you, or, like, I mean, I guess he says I care about you, but it just seems so, I don't know, it's one part of it that it's not cringy. It's just like there's something with it that it doesn't seem genuine almost. But
Yeah.
not on, like, Poppy's part, just on, like, the writing of the book. I don't know.
Oh.
It's getting to a point now where all of her denial, like, it almost seems like not far-fetched, but far-fetched. Like, it's like
how can you think this way?
yes, like, at this point, it's like, okay, author, like, it is time to be like, because it's almost like I'm like, okay, this again. Like, it's like he
Like,
does
she's
all
always
of this.
like, all of these evidence, but he can't like me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think-
just like,
yeah.
like, I almost catch myself, like, rolling my eyes when her internal monologue is this. It's like, we all know where this is going.
Yeah.
And, like, there's nothing else that can be done other than him being like, I love you.
Yeah.
The
and
end.
then she probably still won't.
And it would just be like, what does someone have to do at this point?
I think that's why we're
This
finding it
Kieran
out from
thing is
Kieran.
happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I don't think she would have
feel
believed
like
it from Cass.
Not that
No.
it happened sooner, but it seemed a little drawn out.
Yeah,
That part.
yeah.
Of
See,
her inner monologue
yeah.
about it.
I didn't think that
No.
because, like, I'm thinking, like, it's a trauma response. Like, she's been lied to so many times, and, like, she literally just got, like, betrayed by him.
Yeah.
Not,
she's
like-
still getting betrayed by, like,
Yeah, yeah, like,
side.
She literally just got betrayed by Cass. Like, he lied about who he was. Yeah. So I think it's just, like, a trauma response on her part.
But I do get what you're saying. You're
Yes.
like, God damn it!
I 100% get what you're saying.
Like,
I just think it's a trauma response.
I don't have a lot of notes for chapter 4, so I don't know.
But a few.
why that
I
is.
started off with, I'd bet money this ends with them kissing her naked.
I know. I was like, is this another one of those in the
That's my first
forest?
note, and then I knew it.
I was surprised how long it took to get into any sort of hanky-panky in
Yeah.
this first, like, half of the book.
Yep. So they start fighting a sword fight. I said Cass knocks her down first, but she draws blood, and she's all like, "Woo!"
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, then they end up on top of each other. And then I played, I'm sad she's being held prisoner because I want to enjoy all of this flirting right now, but I'm just like, you're a jerk. So I'm really struggling at this point still.
And we haven't talked about his motives behind the marriage at this
No, we don't know
Right.
yet. Because like,
No, we don't know.
even later in this chapter, he's like, I'm tired. We'll talk about this tomorrow.
And that's
I'm like,
annoying too. I'm like, oh my God.
yes.
I have something very important to tell you about this. And
But
then
you
I
can
just
have
won't
to
for
wait.
5 more chapters. I'm like, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I know.
Just see, I think I like was like, it's fine because in my head I've just assumed my theory is correct, and he's doing it to
Something's
protect
happening
her.
Yeah, that's true. You were onto that.
I'm just at this point I don't care, making excuses for him because it doesn't make sense any other way.
So then the Cravens show up. And we're like, oh, thank God that she was followed because
She'd have been dead.
yeah,
Yeah.
did, like Dana
Herbie did.
Herbie did.
And a part of me is like, when Kieran showed up, I thought he was going to say something about smelling like death. Like, this is why this led yourself to your death, but it didn't get brought up.
Like as if he knew it was
Yes.
coming.
Maybe.
And then when they were in the place where she ended up killing that one guy, I'm like, this is where,
Yeah.
like I had so many thinking this is going to get brought up again, and it didn't.
Oh, interesting.
Made me so mad. Like, she was near death. Like,
And he had sent, I didn't mention this, but he had sent Kieran away at this point. He's like, I'll meet you back at the
Yeah.
keep or whatever. And so then they fight. And he says to her, if you can beat me in a battle, I'll let you leave. And she does not beat him in a battle, as we all I think, including her, knew. And then the Cravens show up, they kill all the Cravens, and he says something along the lines of, let's see if we can kill more or whatever.
yes.
Like, see if you can keep up with me or something. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
and now he's kissing her. I said, ugh, I know she doesn't absolutely hate it, but this just feels so icky. Where is my consent king?
I think she consented to the kiss.
I know she is. And like, I know that he can read that in her, but like outwardly she's saying no. And I feel like that should count for something. And I
I don't feel like at all on the kiss part she was like, no about it.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Like, she can pull away, which it still doesn't excuse it, but
I don't recall the wording in here, but I didn't feel it that way. Just the marriage part at this point.
And then it is confirmed that the reason why Poppy survived the Craven bite was because she is part Atlantean. I don't think we knew for sure
We did know.
at this point.
I'm pretty sure we knew she was half Atlantean.
We knew she was half Atlantean.
Why they have
Oh.
a conversation at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like that's when I'm sure we all assumed because like they
Yeah.
and whatever, but
didn't at some point, like you had mentioned earlier, like how an Atlantean can't ascend, but didn't Cass make a point to say that maybe she could ascend? Like I think she did ask.
Maybe
like,
because
what
she was
if
half
I
Atlantean.
drank, that like what would happen, and he was like maybe you would ascend, but like he wasn't sure because it had never happened before, because it's forbidden to give a half
Mhm.
blood type deal or something like that.
it's forbidden for an Atlantean to give anyone blood that has mortal blood in them.
That
Yeah.
has more blood. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
So he's like, I really don't know what would
Right,
happen
yeah.
because we have never done that unless they did it with her brother. Maybe he's a what's that called? Hybrid.
Hyper.
There's a word here.
Okay, so then I'm literally at chapter ends. Do you have anything else to add on?
I
the
do.
chapter?
So, when they're having this conversation, I brought it up because I was like, oh, I don't remember this quote. But they're talking after they do the Craven and confirming that, like, she got bit and that's why they know.
Yeah.
He says, like, Craven blood. If I'd have known those marks were bites, I would have realized what you were right away. And she goes, well, yeah, I trailed off. Would that have changed anything? He didn't answer for a long moment. And then he said, no, Poppy, you being mortal or half Atlantean wouldn't have changed what's already happening. And I'm like, is this him falling for her as a person too?
Oh.
Beyond the bond.
Beyond, like, I think that's him.
Well, he does say
Falling
somewhere
for
else,
her.
too, that before he knew, like, while he met her,
He knew it
and
long before he
Yeah.
tasted blood.
before, he tasted
Well,
blood.
they said
that,
something like I always
his
felt
plans had
comfortable
changed.
around
Yes.
you. And
But remember how his plans were to like
Yeah,
use her?
yeah.
He said as soon as I met you or something like that, my plans to
Yeah.
as soon as I got to
swap
know
you for
you.
Malik.
Just that comment.
Maybe Kieran said it. Maybe it was Kieran.
No, I
that
think he talks
says
about it.
That
I think he does.
because I don't think he's told her yet that her,
No.
right? Like the plans
No.
changed.
Yeah. At this point, she thinks it's still happening, which isn't also why, like, he can't care for me.
But I think
Like, he's willing to trade me.
told her that like he eventually says like plans have changed.
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
what the
yeah.
marriage is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think Kieran was the one that said he wasn't going to switch you with Malik long before now.
Yes,
I think
Kieran does
was
say
the
that,
one that
yes.
said it was earlier.
Yeah.
Where she thinks it's only because of the blood thing.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
like, no, like
Yes.
those plans
Yeah, that was Kieran that
were-
says that. Yeah.
long before.
But I was just like, oh, here's like a little cute moment and all of that.
See, yeah, at this point, I was too much in depression, so I didn't. I was like, no, he's bad now. I can't support this. But he wins me back, though. It's okay, friends. So then chapter ends with Cass removing the dead Craven from her cloak, and I went, ew. And then they start walking back to the keep. So starting chapter 5. So this is one of the parts where I laughed out loud. So they come back into the keep, and Kieran has the bath and stuff running for her, and Cass is telling him all about the Craven attack, and Kieran says to Poppy, wonder how that would have worked out with your meat knife. He's just like, I love him. He's so funny.
He kind of is like the male version of Poppy. Like with
Yeah.
the, with the
Yeah.
sass straight
Sass,
back.
yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I was like, I feel like we're starting to see Kieran relax more.
Yeah.
And I really want to learn more about him.
Is that another crackpot theory?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so jumping back to how we think that maybe she's got some woven in her, like we don't really know that for sure. But what if we find out like her and Kieran are like brothers or something?
That would
like
be
brother sister, like
Pretty
siblings.
cool too.
Ooh,
I would love that
I would
because
love
then
that
we would
too.
have that.
Yes,
that's interesting.
that would be fun.
I think it'd be
And
so-
maybe her dad is still alive in his woven.
like her
That's
birth
Kieran's
dad,
Yeah.
or her actual dad that she thinks is her dad.
I think her birth dad is her dad. So there's that. You think that?
So
she's not
you-
her parent.
so
I think her
you're
I
asking-
think she's not adopted.
Correct. I think one of her parents was full Atlantean, and that's why they were escaping. I think that.
okay.
And I think that the story goes, because it's not just her, it's the whole kingdom
Right,
believed that the maiden's mother was given a pass.
right.
Well, why would they do that and have it known? I feel like she would have to be Atlantean. Like, why?
Like you think the mother was Atlantean?
I think so.
Well, why wouldn't they just make her the maiden?
I don't know the reason for that. That's a good call. I don't know.
Oh, there's so much.
Because she was already an adult at that point.
Yeah, but they should have known earlier. She wouldn't have been able to ascend.
Yeah, but she would have been an adult at that point. I don't know, actually. That's a good call. I don't know.
Nina's questioning all her theories.
But I do think that she was Atlantean. I do. I don't know why.
I'd be so happy, though, if Kieran ended up being her brother.
That would be so cute. I want that more than I want Air now.
So write a fanfic if it's not true. Right?
But she knows. Oh, her biological brother. Never mind. I'm like, she knows her brother. She's met him.
Yeah.
Doy.
I'm biologically.
Yeah, I get it. Do you think, like, two things? A wolf can bond to more than one person, so like Kieran could be bonded to Cass. No. Do you think that more than one wolf could bond to one Atlantean? So like Kieran bonded to Cass, and some other one could bond to Cass,
like as like a
the same thing that Kieran is to Cass.
I don't think so.
I feel like they said they could.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Like, let's say Shay was a wolf. Could she have been bonded to Cass?
I might be confusing
Kieran?
class.
And could Kieran? Spoiler, you can't say that.
No, it's okay. You have no idea what I'm talking about if you have
okay. But it's not about wolves then.
No, there's no wolves in Throne of Glass.
Okay,
but I think that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I don't think so. I didn't mean to like shut you down. I'm like, I don't think so.
It was just
Chris is like, no, moving on.
That was so stupid.
Fucking idiot.
Don't ever bring up your dumb theories ever again.
It's like you think we're 1/3 of this podcast.
Okay, chapter 5.5.
The 10th time.
So I said Cass is coming into her room, which is actually his room. And then I put the bath, period. I didn't make any other notes on that. So he's stepping into the bath, like right in front of her.
And she's like admiring him. Okay.
Yeah. And I said,
Kieran still in this room at this point? He mustn't be.
I think he left.
Okay.
I think he was standing guard outside until Cass got there. And then he left when Cass got there. And then I just said, I don't like this. I miss Hawk. I miss our consent king. This just feels so icky. So I think this is like...
He's getting into the bath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And like, I know that she likes it.
And she doesn't have to be there. There's like, he's in the bath chamber. She could hang out not in the bath chamber. She's the one.
She's also the one watching him. Yeah.
He literally isn't like, hi, will you watch me? She's like, I can't keep my eyes off of him. Anything. He is not consenting to be. I Googled. So, just saying.
Reverse.
But I know that he likes
verse and reflect. Reverse it. I barely have any notes on this chapter. I don't know why. I'm sorry. But then I just said, I feel like there's more to this whole marriage thing. I'm still leaning towards mates, but I don't like how he is acting about it. Ugh.
I wish we could just know. It took so long to get the answer.
Yeah, it does. And then, do you have any more notes before I do the chapter?
Yeah. I don't know where this started, but I said, like, they must be talking about Solis. Yeah, because they talk about, like, how they have electricity. Like, I miss running water.
Yes.
And I said, I'm not surprised the Ascended basically encourage poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how, like, you get people under your reign.
And it keeps them mad at each other.
And he also opened up about Hawk.
Yeah, that's how the chapter ends.
So, yeah, I was like, okay, but kind of cute him opening up about Hawk.
Yeah. So we find out, chapter ends with him finding out his full name is Castile Hawkthrone. Hawkthrone or Hawkthorn?
Hawkthrone.
Hawkthrone, okay. Hawkthrone Daniil, which is why he chose Hawk as his pseudonym. His mom and brother called him that. Atlanteans have the mother choose a secret middle name, which only those close to them know. And then I said, do we think Poppy has one that we don't know about?
She says, I don't have a middle name, but if she's half Wolven, maybe, or half Atlantean, sorry.
Do you know, because the mother picks
You're
it.
right.
So maybe the mother is Atlantean. Maybe you're onto something.
I really...
Because it's weird that they wrote it as mother picks it. Chalk
one thing that's weird that I don't understand, this is not a theory, this fact of like somebody picks a middle name and only some people know it.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't everybody know it? If his mom and his brother, whomever, literally call him that, wouldn't they know that's his name?
They wouldn't know. They could just think it's a nickname though.
Yeah.
Like, they have no way of knowing that's
his
middle name.
I cite like a hawk.
I guess.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's like, doesn't seem like a secret.
Like, real fucking secret.
Like, you're literally saying it. But I guess they didn't say, hi, this is his middle name.
Yeah.
This is the name we call him.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going into chapter 6, and I have a lot of notes on chapter 6. So I'm sorry in advance.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so Poppy is using her gift on Cass, and he seems sad and disappointed. That was after she asked if he was telling the truth. So, like, she's saying to him about him revealing his name. She's like, how can I trust that you're telling the truth right now? Because, like, literally everything you said is a lie. And so she puts her thing, her
Thanks to
gift
Kieran.
out. Yeah.
Yep.
Out to say, yeah, because Kieran had told her, like,
Why aren't you doing this?
Yeah. And she's like really sad, or he's really sad because she was trying to pick up any emotion that would indicate he was lying, and he wasn't.
On that same line, so I'm gonna read it because I picked up on this. Sorry. Opening myself up was always easy, required no effort. My senses stretched out, and it was like a cord formed between Castile and me, connecting us. I was like, a bond. The cord connecting them, is that like a bond?
But she has the cord on other times.
No, but like she's never talked about a cord connecting her to another person. I don't think.
Has. I swear, in like a big crowd of people.
I feel like it also has been worded as.
Oh, I did not. I don't remember that, and I like
big bond.
Well,
Bond. You're connected in the bond.
I've read in other books how they describe bonds like that, though. It's like a cord connecting them.
Yeah.
I do think
and this was the time, because she's like, no, she says right here, it wasn't always like that. So singular. Sometimes crowds overwhelmed me and pulled me in.
But I'm sure they have.
I feel like I've heard the word cords before.
So maybe she's used
like
it.
Stretch out like a cord. Like I feel like it's,
but like,
been said.
Maybe metaphorically.
The way she says it, though, here, like saying it wasn't always like that.
That's interesting. I did not catch that.
Yeah, I didn't catch that part either.
And then, some people were like connectors.
Half of my making fun of
half of our mockery towards you, we take it back.
With Castile, it only took a few seconds to process what I was picking up from him. So.
Mm-hmm. And then Poppy asks him
like there's something.
If he can read minds. And I said, I had wondered the same. And then I put, he can't. Boo. Because remember when I was like, he's got some kind of a gift like Poppy. Maybe it's reading minds. But I was wrong. So that's it.
One thing that also bothered me, and we'll not get into it more in future in the episodes here, but I think before, like in the last book, Kieran had said, like, why aren't you using your gift more? Or, like, has she learned yet? I think so. Like, why don't you use this against your enemies? Like, you could. Like, when she
hasn't learned that yet. But yes, it comes out.
But she hasn't learned that yet.
Yeah.
No.
But she does then, and then goes into situations where I'm like, oh, this is going to be when she does it. And then she doesn't do it. And I'm like,
I feel like it's pretty close towards the end, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the only
it's towards the end.
That was the first time she does it.
No, when she learns about it. Isn't it when she's on the beach?
I don't think so, because when the weird things fight them, I forget what they're called, the Death Clan or
Clan.
I'm like, oh, she's gonna do that here, and then she didn't. And I was like, why wouldn't she? Because she can't do it. Who can't she do it against?
Ascended. She can't use.
Is that what it is? Is it just Ascended?
Yeah.
Because that's why she's like, oh, is that how the Ascended wiped out all of my kind?
Yes.
Because they couldn't use their gift on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised she didn't. That in the Wu Hang Tang people.
And I said then he says that he misses her calling him Hawk, and I said, well, maybe you should act like him. He says what he does not have anything to gain by lying to her now. He has what he wants. It's her. And she responds, you do not have me. And I went, go, Poppy.
You're like, I love that.
Yes. I just love that she fights back when everything he says. He tells
Especially
her
when she couldn't her whole life. Like that.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Iconic.
It's like everything that she would have been had she not had that placed on her as a young freaking person. Because he said, suck.
And interestingly enough, she pushes back, and it's almost like she knows, because she didn't push back before, because she knew she would be harmed. She knew this. Like she subconsciously knows I'm safe here.
Yeah.
I can push back
and be okay
because I'm in a safe space.
Yeah.
But she almost doesn't even realize that.
Right?
But
yeah.
It's like when my toddler decides to be mean only to me because she knows I love her no matter what.
Right? It's like, are you like this at school? No. I'm like, okay, so it's just for me.
Yeah, I'm so lucky.
Love that for me.
This morning when I spent 25 minutes brushing her hair and she got mad at me and stormed into the laundry room and told me I was not allowed to talk to her. Yeah, that was fun. That was 25 minutes of my day.
She must love you so much.
That's hilarious. I love your daughter.
Oakley's phrase right now is, I'm not happy for you. I'm not happy of you, Mom. I'm not happy of you.
of you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, gosh, I love it. I don't love it for you, but I love it. It's fun.
I get it.
Okay, anyway, back to the book. I'm sorry. Tangent again. It's gonna be one of those days, friends. So he tells her to ask him anything that she wants. So she asks if he killed the first maiden, which I think this is the first time the first maiden is mentioned in this book.
Yep.
And to him.
And he says that because she's still sensing his senses at this point, and she senses a lot of surprise. And he says, no, the only maiden he had ever met is her.
Yeah.
So
do we think the maiden was a made up thing at this point?
I don't
know.
I go back and forth. I still feel like she's going to come into play somehow. I don't know how, but I feel like it's going to be something.
I can't decide either.
And because it goes on to say later in this book.
Well, it even says, I truly don't know if there was another maiden.
Yeah, he does say that. But it goes on to say, there's no recollection of
there was no writing.
When she existed. Yeah. It could have been 10 years ago. It could have been 10,000 years ago. They don't.
I wonder if that's just a story.
I kind of, now that I'm thinking about it more, I think that it was made up. Because there's at times, too, when she, is reflecting on different things that she was told. She was told by the Duchess that, oh, your gift is getting stronger. That happened with the first maiden.
Yeah.
And it's no, her gift is because of the culling. And, it's even that was a lie.
Right.
And I don't know. I think that the first maiden
Unless the first maiden was also part Atlantean. But then wouldn't Cass know them?
Yeah, I think half Atlanteans are probably fairly common in Atlantean knowledge. She's not the first half Atlantean.
No.
Well, there's even some that live in Atlantia.
And her gift is specifically due to her bloodline not even being half
Atlantean.
Right. So that gift has nothing to do with being the maiden.
Right.
I think that it's all just, again, how can we set fear into making her believe this? There was one of exactly her before her, and this is the bad things that happened to her.
Yeah.
She didn't do this, therefore now she's going to follow this script. I think now that it's made up, but who knows?
Well, she says even there, I had not considered the possibility that there had been no other maiden. That would explain why there was nothing written about her, not even a name, but for her to not exist at all. ?
So Cass then says to Poppy, why do you think it was left this long for your ascension? Why do you think, if they're worried about your gift getting stronger, why are they waiting all this?
Yeah, just do it. Yeah.
And he says the reason why the ascended wait until a certain age for them to ascend is because
this is the reason why they were waiting for her to ascend. It had something to do with the culling, I think, and the blood being
right, because they know she's Atlantean, right? Sorry, yes, my note does make sense. That I was thinking that they didn't know, but they do know that, and that's why she's the main.
Yeah,
sorry. So I said he says there's a reason why the ascended wait until a certain age for them to ascend, and it's because their gifts come into full force at the age of 19. It's called the culling. Cass's gift was compulsion when he went through the culling. So not every Atlantean has compulsion abilities. That was his specific calling.
I also wrote here, Cass having compulsion as a talent and not using it. Morally Grand King again?
And he does admit that that's how he got to Poppy, basically. He was to be able to use compulsion to get information.
I am a very well trained
guard.
Yeah.
I have been extending the ranks. You will let me through.
Yes.
But he says his compulsion doesn't last forever, right? Yeah. It's kind of short term.
Yeah. Besides, compulsions are temporary, only used for full immediate gains.
Yeah.
So he must have been in the guard a little
bit. And compulsions don't work on ascended.
What's that? Sorry.
And interesting, just like you can't pick up emotions from ascended, compulsions don't work on them either.
Yes, because they're dead inside. Yeah. That's why. Yeah. So Poppy says, "Why haven't you made a go along with everything you want me to do?" Cass says, "Because I may be a monster, Poppy, but I'm not that kind of monster." And I was like,
"Well, you're making me marry you." She should have said that right then and there, and then they could have had the conversation now.
And I said, Poppy's gifts are now growing because she might be going through the culling, because it's not guaranteed she'll go through the culling because she's only part Atlantean, right?
Oh, I don't know. I thought she would for sure because she's.
I assumed she would.
Yeah, but I don't know if I think so. I think she has to. I don't know. I never considered that she wouldn't.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I was just.
Also, I don't like the word culling. Doesn't that mean killing of a lot of things?
Yeah,
that is a really the culling is with whales and shit.
Well, how is it spelled?
Culling.
Okay, so yeah, exactly.
Right, that is what that means too. Okay, I'm that's a weird word that they use, and I'm
but I wonder if they use it.
I'm thinking the wrong term, but I'm pretty sure
No, it is culling.
Okay.
It is culling. Like, I'm gonna sound like a huge nerd. Sorry, I'm just gonna say it. But like when you do like fish breeding and stuff, like they'll say like, oh, like you cull the you get rid of like the deformed ones, but it's literally called
That's
culling.
what it's called. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's funny because I thought about it with whales. I think that was like a thing that happened.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyway,
Like you kill the weak or whatever.
See, I don't think I took it that way, but because I think maybe my brain was going like, as I'm even thinking about it now, like the culling, like it's going through something internally, like a different part of themselves
Like
is like,
culling?
yeah.
And,
Like, no.
I never
Like,
thought in the book that they were killing anything.
No.
It was a
Weird
because
choice
that's
of
the
word.
exact same word for something else.
Yeah.
Like,
I think in my head, it's just like a part of them internally is like,
it's going away.
is dying
to
and
bring
like,
light to new.
yeah.
Like you're culling the
Like they're culling their blood or
mortal part
something.
of you.
Yeah.
the
better.
not
Yeah.
gifted.
That idea.
I guess. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I wrote she will not get fangs or immortality. But I thought for some reason she could get fangs. No?
Well, I developed fangs. Doubtful. Half Atlanteans don't need blood, so they don't need fangs.
So it was doubtful.
Yeah.
Not
What
for
about
sure you won't.
immortality? Would you
Okay.
want that? Or would you not want that, he says. And he says, I don't know, will I?
This is the one thing I'm really stressing with because, like, if they're heartmates and they're going to end up, like, if they're endgame, they're going to end up together, which I think they're going to.
And then she just dies.
Yeah.
She's immortal. Yeah.
So
like,
I'm like,
more heartbreak for Cass.
is he going to, like, give up his mortality and
Can you do that? Will you
immortality?
just kill
I don't
yourself?
know.
Like,
I don't
what's-
know. I don't know.
I'm just like, I think he'd just take himself out.
Right?
There goes my bond. But I think she'll have like a longer life because she is half Atlantean.
Yeah, that's true.
Did they say with the half Atlanteans? I know they talk about different lifespans. I don't know if they specifically
I don't
said.
think they.
I don't think they say, like, years or anything, just that it's.
Oh no! Even the half Atlanteans that live in Atlantia are not ascended. They live and die just like mortals.
Yeah.
But they didn't say how long, though. He could
No.
just mean that they.
No.
So he's saying they're all half Atlanteans live and die.
Yes.
It's not.
Yeah.
So when he said probably not, it's like,
Most likely
it'll be
not.
very shocking.
Yeah,
if he's-
Yeah.
You would have to be some special kind of.
And the one interesting thing, though, is that he has given his blood to her, which is like a forbidden thing.
Yeah.
So she could become more than half Atlantean. Like, we
And I
don't
wonder
know
if
what
that will tie,
happens.
as you just saying that, I wonder if that will tie their lives together. Because if they're heart bonded and they've shared blood.
And maybe that has to do with him, Kieran scenting death or whatever on, because it's kind of a forbidden thing to give your blood, and maybe he
Maybe.
can tell.
And because they use Atlantean blood to make Ascended.
Yeah.
And they live forever.
Mhm.
So maybe.
I almost wonder if she ascends. Maybe she can, because he didn't say she can't. He said, like, maybe you would,
Right.
but it's forbidden. Maybe that would be like the cure of ascended. Like, she could ascend and not be bloodthirsty.
Soulless.
Do you get what I'm saying?
So, like, her
Because
blood can be used to save people, you mean?
maybe, or just she could have immortality
But she'd have to
but
like drain all her
not
blood.
but she wouldn't be a monster type deal. Like, there would be something.
I feel like she
don't
already
know.
has it because she has half Atlantean blood. Or at least she'll live a longer life than a mortal.
Probably.
And then I wrote it's illegal for Atlanteans to turn anyone with a drop of mortal blood in them. So I know we had mentioned that earlier,
Yeah.
but that this is when it's brought up in the book. And then he doesn't believe Poppy would have ever actually ascended because it would have made her blood useless. They wanted to use her as a blood bank instead of
Yeah.
ascending her. And that Ian most likely changed because there was a time that he went months without writing to her. And Cass said that some of the vampire can take months to get control of their
Yeah.
thirst. The ones who can't ascend, they make them walk out into the sunlight, which is a slow and painful death. Which also made me think of Twilight.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
A
It's
part of
not
me-
sparkly.
a part of me thought that maybe even the letters she was getting from her brother weren't from her brother.
Yeah,
Like,
I
they were
thought
fake.
about that
Yeah.
too.
I
Like,
wondered
that her brother is not with the Ascended anymore. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's something more to that.
Yeah, it is odd that we haven't actually seen him on the page yet. No.
Yeah.
And Cass is telling her that the queen cared so much for her because they needed her to go through the calling so that they would be able to use her blood. And then I wrote, poor Poppy.
I called it
You did.
multiple
So it bugs me that she was like trying to make her feel better. Like,
No.
what would be the point of that? Like, I just can't wrap my head around. Like, that was beyond kind. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Roommate.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I'm just like, what?
That's exactly what it is.
Do that go that extra.
Because now you're feeling sympathy for her.
Why?
Yes, because you know what I mean. Like you were nice enough,
Yeah.
and you saved her, and that's enough. But you're like next level. You're right. That is screaming. I just can't fathom that somebody
someone
would
be
do
that
that.
awful?
Yeah,
I
I
know.
really can't. I can't wrap my head around that.
I know.
And then Cass swears to her that he didn't know she was Atlantean until he tasted her blood. So we're taking that at face value. He didn't know she was Atlantean.
I agree with. I believe.
Yeah.
that,
I
guess
do
is what I
too,
say.
because he's being pretty honest with her at this point.
I
But-
can't see him also wanting to let another Atlantean go back to be a blood bank, essentially.
Yeah. But why? Because he says that Kieran says that
The
he
plans.
cared for her long before he tasted her blood.
I
So
think what happened when he tasted her blood, it was a relief for him. He was like, "Thank you," because now
because he was already feeling
I can
conflicted.
cancel
Yeah.
my plans and I have a good excuse to say to my people.
Yes.
I
Okay.
think to him it was like, "Thank
So he was
God."
already wanting to do
yes,
that.
because that's what
and then-
Kieran basically said. Like his plans were already changed.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of like him actually admitting to himself, like
And
so yes,
having
and
something
us.
to go, like, because he's a prince. He needs
But do
a
we think he
reason.
knew that they were bonded before?
I don't think so.
No.
I wonder if he knew only on
I
a
don't even
subconscious
know
level.
if he knows for sure right now, to be honest, if Cass knows. I think he knows that it exists and that he's thinking maybe this is a thing, but I don't know if he knows for sure. I think Kieran suspects it. I don't know.
Because of being Wolven, you mean?
Yeah.
I do.
I think he knows at this point, and I think before he maybe realized she was half Atlantean, because I think this is a bond only between Atlanteans. I think he may have known, but like subconsciously, like he didn't recognize it. Like it's like, oh, I feel this connection to this person, but I don't understand why.
Yeah.
And that bite, he was like, that.
And then the moment, yeah,
Boy.
I wonder if the bite was where it clicked in for him that this
That's
is the
yeah.
heart bond.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit.
If that's
now
what it's
I
called, I can't
understand.
remember.
Everything makes sense.
Yeah.
So then Cass asks why she would run away after everything she found out. And Poppy explains that he basically wanted to do what the Ascended did to her, keep her healthy and in a cage until he can use her. And then he announces to everyone he's marrying her. Because at this point, she still thinks
Yeah.
that that's the plan.
Yeah.
She doesn't know it's changed yet, correct? Okay.
No.
I'm just very sad about it all. And then
See, I took it all as him just joking with her. At this point, I'm just fully convinced he's doing it for
It
her.
was like, there, especially because he said many times, like, we need to talk about this. Like,
yeah,
you will understand.
like I knew.
It's just, why wouldn't he say something? He's
Yes, like,
dragging it
I
on.
knew there was
It was
a
getting
reason
annoying.
why he was doing it, but it was feeling super icky that he wasn't telling her the reason.
Okay. I just think this is funny because of what's the book I hate in Nakatar? Silver Flames.
My favorite one. Continue.
You
We
hated
can
it? It's your favorite? That's
Yes.
funny.
Literally hated it. I
It's
suffered
from a
through
different
that book.
POV, and she doesn't like the
Oh.
person. So she
Okay,
can't.
so yeah, okay.
But it's
Just
very
to
good.
like people are gonna be like, why I love that book. I read Akatar when it first came out. Like I have the original covers. I read it whenever it was published. I hated
Said person.
I hated the narrator of Silver Flames for like 7 years, and I hold grudges. Okay,
She really does. She still has a grudge on my husband from 6 years ago because he drank her Powerade.
it was like for me because I was hungover for the first time. Okay,
And she still
Oh my God.
he didn't even drink it all. That's what bothers me the most.
and he has since replaced Gatorade a couple of times.
I'm not mad about it. It's funny to throw around though. I'm not actively mad.
Is that a voodoo doll of Dakota over there?
But anyway, I just I feel like there's very similar things happening here, and you're like on different sides.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about this off mic.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious to what part.
We need to talk about this in the parking lot.
Because
I know you don't want to spoil it.
I want you to read Akatar.
I get it.
And also I don't want to spoil it for our friends.
I
So,
get it.
But
It'll be my next.
Anywho,
I told Manda, because Manda's like, do I do Fourth Wing or Akatar? I'm like, do Fourth Wing because Akatar's a good hangover book for Fourth Wing. So I'm like, do Fourth Wing first. Anyway. So then Cass is out of the bath at this point when they were talking, and now he's climbing into the bed, and she's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And he's like, this is my bed. And she's like hinting at like like nothing's gonna happen kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
I won't need your services tonight to fall asleep.
Yes. Chap says he would never force her to do anything she didn't want to do, and I put in brackets meaning spice, and I said, but what about marriage?
Doesn't she say it too, except getting married? I think she even makes that
Oh,
comment.
does she?
I think so.
And then I said, or forcing them to share a bed, question mark. Like, these kind of feel like forcing. Oh. And then chapter ends with Poppy asking, why did you have to tell me that Hawk was your middle name? And he responds, because you needed to know that not everything was a lie.
I cried.
I think this is when I started coming back.
You're like,
Yeah.
okay, I love it. No. 6 chapters?
Yeah, 6 chapters. End of 6. Okay, so chapter 7 opens with Poppy telling the account of her attack. No, her dream. It's her dream.
Yeah, it's her dream.
Yes.
We're getting the story of the account of the attack on her as a child. And I said a couple of things I've noticed. She says something about a man coming to want her papa to come out with him. Does that not seem odd? And Ian was taken away with a woman who smells like vanilla. Do we think that was the queen?
Ooh.
I don't know if the queen's smell was ever described, but she clearly doesn't like recognize the smell at this point, you know?
But I feel like since she was raised by the queen, that would have been a familiar smell.
She didn't know the queen yet, though.
I guess that's true.
This is the attack.
Her subconscious.
Yeah.
I guess.
And as a child,
You're
she's
right.
probably blocked that part out because
Yeah.
she clearly doesn't know who this woman is because she just says a woman that smells like vanilla.
That's true.
I don't think, yeah. Because I was picking up on this too. Like, I was picking up on things that I had in my theory. But, quote, gaze darting to the windows, seem on edge like they were running.
Oh, her dad.
He hadn't been smiling or laughing at the dinner. He hadn't since the day we left. He sat at the table, his gaze darting to the window in between every quick bite of food. And then I wrote, Dad is an Atlantean finding them in the dark. But also could be Wolven.
Finding the bad guys like out the window, you mean?
Yeah. Well, like, so I think she says it's dark. She pulled me down a narrow hallway. We must be quiet. We must be quiet so Papa can come and find us. The mom is saying that to Poppy, right? And so I'm like, maybe like she knows he'll find them because of it was dark in the room we entered.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
I didn't understand how being quiet would help Papa come find us. It was dark in the room we entered. The sounds, the ragged breaths, the moans.
So
Papa had gone outside. Yeah.
It doesn't talk about him dying, I don't think.
And now history's repeating itself because she's falling in love with him.
But she's also part of...
I thought you did it. Listen, I told you he started to really back in at this point.
But it's kind of interesting because I thought it was a mother that was Atlantean, but this is leading to me to believe it's the father because I don't think her dad is dead because she has memories of seeing her mom being killed.
Yeah, but
she doesn't have memories of seeing her dad being killed. And this is interesting the way her mom said, I never caught on that before.
Didn't either. That's so
So he could have fled. Fed her lies.
I'm mad at myself for not picking up on that.
They fed her lies that they both died. And
because I wrote, and I didn't put this together, but I wrote a couple of things I noticed. She says something about a man coming out and wanting her papa to go out with him. Does that not seem odd? So you're right. The dad is never killed on Paige.
No.
Or in her memory.
Or in her memory.
So maybe this man took dad away, but who's the man? Who took dad away and why?
Maybe he fought and dad is alive and is...
Do we think dad is being the blood bank right now?
That's what I don't know.
To keep Malik alive?
That's a good theory.
Is what?
Because I'm like, I can't see, as I'm thinking, I'm like, I know I said is he Atlantean, but I'm like, I can't see him not going to try and find Poppy unless he went to find Poppy and now he's captured, like you think, helping them keep Malik alive.
Keeping Malik alive, because Malik needs Atlantean blood to stay alive in order to be the blood bank.
And why would they not have two?
Atlantean blood to stay alive.
Or to not go crazy.
But they don't have to go crazy.
But maybe they learned.
Yeah.
From Cat.
And if they could have two blood banks, why not have two blood banks?
Mm-hmm.
That's just smart.
I don't think that there's a drawback to the vampires having a crazy Atlantean.
harder to
Just
control.
easier. I feel like it'd be
Harder
easier.
control. No, I think it'd be harder.
Stick instincts take over.
Yeah.
Tied down though? Like,
Yeah, but
actually, I don't know.
I don't know. They probably are tied down, but like,
So how were they feeding Cass when they did?
They weren't.
I don't
And
know
that's
if
why
they
he went
were.
so crazy, and that's why when he dreams, he goes crazy.
I just feel like the vampire would probably like, haha, good.
I don't think
I'm
like
glad you did.
I'm leaning like you're thinking like
Maybe
They
she'll
have
get
two?
there. Her dad is there when she goes
Yeah.
to rescue Malik.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like I think it makes more sense for him to have two because now you could also in theory ascend to like
Double the
double the people because you have
Yeah.
double the blood. And if they learn by not letting Malik and Dad go crazy,
Here's the creepy poppy quote. I wrote it down here. What a
Oh.
pretty little flower. Pick it and watch it bleed. Not so pretty anymore.
And it's a poppy, right?
Creepy,
The flower. that
yeah.
you talked about.
What a pretty
little-
poppy. What a pretty little flower.
What a pretty little flower. What a pretty poppy. Pick it and watch it bleed. Not so pretty any longer, poppy.
It's almost like whoever came to like kill them knew they were coming for Poppy and that they wanted to use her and was like singing that like almost
Crackpot
like,
theory.
almost like psycho.
What if it was the queen saying that to Poppy before she saved her?
That'd be way kind of fucked up. Does it say male or
Right?
female voice?
No. There was a voice again somewhere in the darkness living under the screams.
Like obviously she's reliving these dreams and,
Yeah.
and we're eventually going to learn more about what
Yeah.
happened. But
It's all kinds of fucked up, though. It
It
really
sure
is.
is.
So she wakes up screaming from her nightmare, and Hawk is holding her. And I put every time he does something cute, I just want to call him Hawk because it truly does feel like two different people to me. I said the part with him holding her when she woke up screaming from the nightmare was just so adorable because he's like rubbing her back and comforting her.
And
Yeah.
like, just basically confiding in her and being like, I happen to. Like,
Yeah.
I feel embarrassed.
That's, I think I was like, oh.
It's like,
yeah.
but it truly, like, honestly, I go back and forth, Hawk, Cass, Hawk, Cass, Hawk. And it's like,
I feel like he even feels like he has to do that when he doesn't
Yeah.
want to. Like,
Yeah.
he has to be Prince, and then he has to be like what he wants.
it's like the masks that she talks
Yeah.
about, right?
Yeah.
So Cass is now telling her how he tried to stop the king and queen, failed, got captured, and they would try to keep him in a delirious state. Okay, you were right. By denying him blood. You're right. They were doing it on purpose. Then having him kill the people who didn't fully ascend, and just leaving the dead bodies in the room with him to rot. So the ones that
died during Ascension.
not died because he kills them. So
Okay,
they like is it like the blood doesn't take or something? It just is like
Maybe.
failed ascension.
or his. Well, he doesn't need their blood to feed, though.
No.
I don't know.
So I don't know what it means by that because it definitely says he then goes on to kill him because like their blood is on his hands, like he says that.
But it was like what he was doing to Poppy. Like he could have just killed anyone. Like it wasn't like he was like purposely.
Yeah,
killing
yeah,
people.
yeah.
He was just
Yeah.
like psycho
Yeah.
animal at that point.
Because he was delirious from
Yeah.
the no blood. Oh, so I just realized this then. It kind of tells us that's what's happening.
What do
It's
you mean?
foreshadowing for what happens later.
Yeah.
To Poppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's foreshadowing, which I'm just realizing right now.
Yeah.
But that's foreshadowing. He's like, yeah, delirious because he doesn't have blood.
It's funny that we never clued
Yeah.
that was why he was being that
Yeah,
way.
and I didn't at
because
all.
it never said he wasn't feeding.
No.
So we just assumed
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh,
I still wonder if there's a difference between Atlantean blood and the Ascended blood, though. Like, if keeping, I don't think it's talked about at all, but like when we were talking about like the dad and Malik keeping each other alive, I wonder if there's,
like, could the Ascended feed Cass and keep him alive? Like, would that be enough? Is that what you mean? Instead of Cass drinking Atlantean blood, could he drink the Ascended?
he does. He drinks the Ascended's blood.
Cass?
Doesn't it say that? Like he kills them?
Yeah, but,
But
I
not
don't,
to
he's,
stay alive.
He's not drinking to feed them. He's just
No.
drinking it because he's so crazy.
He's so delirious. that
Yeah,
he's
but like we
killing
were saying, like I think, like I wonder if there would be something like a different effect if he had another Atlantean's blood.
them. Yes, it keeps him from going crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he just went crazy.
Because he
Because
wasn't
he hasn't
feeding.
been
Like,
given
he
them
was trapped
they
by the
purposely
Atlanteans,
kept
and they
him.
just didn't. Oh, sorry.
from the Ascended.
Ascended had him captive to feed off of him and just did not feed him. Didn't give him any Atlantean blood, so he went crazy.
So I wrote here, they kept him in a delirious state by denying him blood and then having him kill the people who didn't fully ascend, leaving the dead
He
bodies.
wasn't
in the
drinking their
room with him
blood.
to
He
rot.
was just killing,
killing
them because he was so crazy.
Yeah.
But then how does he come back from the? Like he has to come back from that somewhere.
Eventually, he will feed off of an Atlantean.
Yeah, probably Malik when Malik got there to save him. Malik probably gave him some blood,
Maybe.
and that's how he got out.
So they still, it still might be ideal for them to have two Atlanteans though.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then he says to her, you were talking in your sleep. You said something like a poem. And she's like, what? And then he repeats it back to her. And Poppy doesn't ever remember hearing that reference. Like she doesn't ever remember hearing it. And she doesn't know why she would have said it. So she clearly heard it when it happened. And we're assuming she's just blocked it from her memory.
Yeah.
Like it's part of the trauma that she's buried deep down.
Well, she says it.
In her sleep.
But she...
No. She says it back to him.
Oh, yeah, you're right. She does.
Cass nodded.
Oh,
you were
right.
saying something that reminded me of a disturbing nursery rhyme, and she says it.
I think
The moment the words left his mouth, the nightmare came back in a startling rush of clarity.
I think what you're addressing is that she's saying, like, I don't ever remember this previous to this nightmare.
Oh,
and now
the
it's
dream.
coming back. To
Okay,
me.
okay.
This is the first time I don't remember this until now, kind of thing.
Yes.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. My bad. So we find out how Cass found out about what was going on with the Duke's lessons, because she's like, how did you know? Like, how did you know what was happening? And it was because he
Compulsed.
Thank you. I wrote composed. I'm like, that's not the right word. He compulsed the information out of them. And then the chapter ends with Castile cuddling Poppy against her will. She ends up falling.
I love how you add that.
Well, it was.
That's hilarious.
Did you have anything else to add from that chapter, Kristen?
I just had the question, are her nightmares as off as she thinks, repressed memories and all?
Yeah.
But we kind of talked about that.
Chapter we at?
Chapter 8.
Okay.
You know, almost halfway. Okay, so chapter 8 opens with Delano rushing into the room and thinking he hears Poppy screaming out his name and asking for help. Do we think this is...
yeah, this is some random thing that also just like, never mind, and doesn't get explained.
And I put, do we think this is one of his powers that's manifesting? Or is it Poppy's and she's able to project? This seems very odd.
I wrote, someone is using a power with her screams and Delano hearing it.
Oh.
So,
Like, I wondered if it was like an attempted threat for her, but it turns into nothing. But
is Cass in the room too?
No, he's gone.
In the room. Mm-hmm. She has been.
She's pacing because he's
she
got her locked in this
out.
room.
Okay,
They won't let her out.
God about this, and it literally is the same as the "you smell like death." It's like random thing. Seems like a big deal. Forget about it.
Do we think it's like maybe it is a talent of Delano, and it's something like she's literally going stir crazy? Is she screaming in her head?
She says she was screaming in her head.
She said she was screaming in her head, but I don't think she ever said help in her head.
I think it's...
But does he hear help?
No, I don't
Yes, that's what he said.
Maybe.
He said, you scream for help and scream my name.
And scream my name.
Not weren't you yelling? Did you hear me yelling? So you weren't screaming. I thought I heard you calling my name, screaming for help, yes. Like, I wonder if there's someone using a power. I think at this point I was like, oh, someone's like using a power, making him hear things so that they can like get him off guard and get to her somehow.
Like, almost like a attack, but didn't work out.
What if his power is he can see the future? He's hearing parts of the future.
That'd be cool. I just like popping into my head. Could it be her gift? Because she can project her emotions onto others, right? That's why someone said that they were so dangerous.
Yeah.
Maybe she was subconsciously like in
help me!
Get me
out of here!
Yeah.
But does she know it's him outside her door?
Yes, she does, because she's talked to him through the door at the start of the
like she made.
Oh yeah. Delano stood outside. Yeah.
Because she's like, "Can I come out? Can I come out?"
Yes.
I'm like, now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, is that a possibility?
Yeah.
She's projecting onto him.
And maybe this is the foreshadowing of what can happen with her powers.
Because she's going through the culling. Like, maybe she can telepathically.
Also, did we know she was only 18? That feels so young.
I think so, because that's when the 18
was
her ascension, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I wondered. Okay. So then Kieran comes in and asks if she wants to go for food. And Poppy is now getting ready. And Kieran's in the room waiting. And she notices that her scar... This is another thing that was just... I'm just going to plop this in here and back out. She says she looks at her scars in the mirror and they look a little fainter than usual. It could just be the light.
We think that's...
I think it's just the blood. I think it's either his blood healing her.
It's healing her?
Yeah.
But you're right. It's got to be something, whether it's foreshadowing because of that.
Yeah. It's just really weird to just be like, I'm just going to plop this little information
I never thought of it being his blood. But that's kind of...
Because he literally healed her from dying.
And like the scar that she got from what's his face, like on her arm, like the...
Oh, I wrote a theory for myself here. I forgot about this theory. Clearly I wasn't too set on it. But I put Do we think that she is starting to go through the culling and her healing powers are starting to kick in because she's part Atlantean?
Ooh, maybe.
So she's healing herself.
Yeah.
Going through the culling.
Hmm.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. So then this is when Kieran starts giving her a lot of the information about like the different bloodlines and stuff.
I also, because I think this is just before that, I wrote green eyes, new color. I'm like, Katie picked up on this.
Will be proud.
I know. I was like,
Her eyes
Katie
have been
was
described as green the entire time, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know, but she
Those green eyes.
specifically
talks
says
about it
she
there.
talks about it.
Yeah.
She's talking about her eyes and how they're green, passed down from my father to Ian to me. My mother's were brown. I thought of how the Atlanteans had gold and they were hazel colored. Had my mother's just been a shade of brown. But don't we find out later that different Atlanteans of different blood types have different eye colors?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so
she says my eyes are green. How can I be Atlantean? He said I didn't say all. I said most.
But if
Yeah.
green is specific to her bloodline, and she just said, just like my brother and just like my dad.
Mhm. Ooh, I'll be so proud of us if we're under that, man. So we find out about
I
element.
think her brother is.
Oh, yeah.
In there.
My next line, interesting talk with Kieran. Are her parents actually blood? Different lines?
We find out about elemental bloodlines and how they are created from deities directly. Kieran mentions. So I got confused here because in my notes I wrote Kieran mentioned that if there were any still around, Castile would not be considered prince because the deity's bloodline would be. But then later we're told that Castile is an elemental. So now I'm
No, the
very
deities.
The
aren't
deities aren't around.
And because deities were like up here, then it was elemental. Deities are now gone.
I
If they weren't
see.
gone,
Okay.
then-
Yeah.
That makes way more sense
Yeah.
because I'm like, you literally just said he was.
an
This.
element.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes way more sense. So if the deities were still around,
Yes, they
Then-
would be.
Yeah.
okay,
The top cheese.
that makes way more sense.
Yeah, he literally talks right here. Food does nothing to shake their bloodlust. Like, talking about Ascended or no, elementals.
Poppy asking Kieran about Atlantia and the bloodlines and eye colors. He makes the comment that maybe neither of them are biological parents. So maybe it was her that was adopted and not Ian, going back to my previous theory.
Yeah, that's what they're literally talking about. Like, she's like, well, my eyes are green. Like, how can I be part Atlantean?
Yeah.
And he's like,
You just could be.
you just could be.
Because.
And he's like, maybe, you know, your memory of their eye color is faulty.
Even if her memory of the eye color is faulty, it doesn't need to be. You just scared me. And what I love is that you have a headset on, so that is going to be captured so beautifully on the mic. But if her eyes are green and her dad's eyes are green, I don't know why he'd be like, maybe you remembered them wrong. Because if she's Atlantean and he's Atlantean and they're green, let's hear your crazy theory.
No, it's not a theory. I'm going to read you what I fucking wrote about this book, guys, and it's going to confirm our theory.
What do you mean? You're
Okay.
getting a fact right now?
Yes, okay? Kieran,
Talk to the hand, Manda.
I'm ready. Let me just.
Kieran mentions that there is another bloodline called a changeling, which is thought to be a descendant of a deity and a wolven.
I just got goosebumps.
Guys!
So, deities still exist now across deity? Is there going to be like a
Descendants of a deity and a wolven
Our changelings.
are changelings. And we think that she is at least part changeling, descended from the changeling bloodline.
no? She is part
No, she's not changeling.
She's Atlantean.
Empath. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. That
Empath.
factors me less.
Empath.
I'm so sad.
I got really excited for a
Me
second
too.
because I was thinking when you said part Wolven and deity, I was almost thinking Shay being part Wolven, part deity, but then Alistair would have to be married to a deity, and then that doesn't make sense.
Or Alistair would have to be deity.
And he's a Wolven. Or he could be part, but he's not a changeling. He's a Wolven.
No.
Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
I also think he would have tasted that on her blood.
Or
I'm sad now. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
You were so excited.
It really was. I moved the conversation when I threw my phone. I gotta find where I was.
do you know what I was thinking too when you were starting to say that was her dad? Could he have been? But then he can't because then she wouldn't be the empath.
Right.
You know.
Never mind.
I know. I got so excited. I'm sorry. That was like the biggest cock tease ever. I'm sorry. sorry. losing it right now. Oh, that was amazing.
You know what my favorite part of this is right now? Is I think my dad's about to go to bed. And haven't even gotten to like the spice yet. And he leaves right over. Like,
Sorry, Papa.
I thought I just heard the ceiling.
Okay. Well, anyway, moving on, because now I'm depressed. Conversation with Alistair. Wow, see, there is Alistair.
Alistair.
Alistair too.
And they formally introduce themselves, and then Poppy says her last name, which I didn't write it down, which is annoying.
Balfour.
Thank you. And he repeats it with his eyes narrowing at her. He tells her that is a very old name in Solis.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not a throwaway comment.
And if that's an old name and could potentially be a
He
name,
literally
that's probably her
says,
dad.
yeah. So it literally continues on. That's an old name, one that goes back several hundred years. How old was this Wolven? My father's family was involved in shipping. They were merchants. Castile has told me. Sorry, you were of Atlantean descent, which would explain why the Ascended seem to have kept you in the Maiden. But, like, I think that's just confirming, like, her dad.
Yeah. Because the last name.
Sorry, I'm very nauseous, friends.
Oh, no.
Eat some more pizza.
So I think that actually is just half confirming, like, I think that's her father is the Atlantean.
I agree.
It goes back several hundred years, assuming they took the father's name.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually the first time we hear her last name too, isn't it?
It is, I think. I don't think we've heard it up to this point.
I didn't even comment on that. I was like, Kieran and Poppy will become friends.
What chapter are we at?
7, 8.
8. So then I wrote all of the mortals in the town that they are in are planning to move to Atlantia to get away from the the Ascendants rule. So then I put I actually laughed out loud when they were talking about anything being able to be killed, and Kieran said, no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to kill Cass with that knife you just swiped, because she thought she was being all sneaky, like swiping his good knife.
Yes.
Like, she'd have it. I'm like, oh, I love it. I just love him. He saw the whole thing. So Kieran says that changelings don't have gold eyes. And I said, so do we think Poppy is going to end up being changeling?
Because we don't know yet, right? He
Yeah.
hasn't told.
No.
So that ends up not being. And then I'm about to go into chapter's end. Do you have anything to add, Kristen?
Literally just interesting with the eyes is that, like, changelings don't have any unique eye color. Neither did a few of the other bloodlines we believed had died off. He added, the fork stilling between his fingers.
And then chapter ends with Kieran saying that maybe she's a descendant of our changeling bloodline, but we find out that.
But he also says maybe we were wrong to assume that some of the other older lines had ceased to exist. Perhaps you're proof of that.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going into chapter 9. Poppy starts thinking about the bar lady at the Red Pearl. And she said something along the lines of, you are like a second daughter, but not in the way that you expect. Poppy starts thinking that maybe it means something to do with a second generation Atlantean, but I feel like it has to mean something, or Jennifer wouldn't have bothered bringing her back.
Yeah.
Again. Maybe the bartender.
I felt at the very beginning, that bartender, I'm like, this lady, there's something. Like, it just seemed very
like
to me.
Odd or whatever. And I wrote, this was my crackpot theory, which I don't think anymore, but I wrote, maybe the bartender is Poppy's biological mom or something like that. But I don't think that's the case, because
I don't think she would have been able to just let her go.
Yeah.
If that was her mom.
Yeah.
But she knows something about her somehow. So
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. Something that Cass didn't even know.
Yeah.
Because he's like, what lady are you talking about?
Yeah, he didn't know what she was, because she assumed.
And she purposely sent him up to Cass.
Yeah.
And Cass didn't even know that.
And she assumed that Cass
had done it.
Like, Cass had sent her.
So, the lady's agenda was getting her up there with Cass, and Cass didn't even know that. So,
Right.
why?
Right. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So then I laughed out loud again. Kieran is playing around with Poppy, and then he corrects himself when he's talking to Castile about using the word arousal. He says, sorry, desire. She doesn't like the word arousal. It's just that I really like him.
So the marriage conversation is coming.
Yes. But first, Cass takes her out into the snow because they're going to the
underground
memorial thing.
Is this?
Let's do. What were you going to say, Kristen?
I think this is just before, because I wrote Kieran and Cass's reaction being called, quote, just like the Ascended is interesting. but I didn't
Yes,
write
that is
down.
right before, you're right, because so she says you're no better than the Ascended or whatever, and then he gets all serious and like stands up. He's like, you need to come with me, and then he takes her to the memorial thing.
Yeah.
Because then he says in there like, this is why I'm nothing like them.
Yeah.
So he takes her out to go to that memorial thing, and they're walking through the snow, and he mentions how him and his brother and Kieran would sometimes sneak into the mountains of Atlantia and play in the snow. And then Cass says that he was gone this morning because he was talking to Mrs. Toulis, and he explained that he gave her the option to stay, promising no harm will come to her, or she can go to another town, and he would help her get passage or whatever. And I said, I noticed that they didn't mention the kid. I wonder if the kid is with her or somewhere else. So she ends up dying in the end, and I'm very sad about it. And we're assuming son is also dead.
I think that they confirmed he was also dead.
Yeah.
Because he got like a wicked grin on his face or whatever.
I
Yeah.
think she asked Cass, and he said that too. I think.
I think it was when she asked, what's his face?
I thought she asked about both
The
of
new
them.
Lord Asshole.
The
Maybe
night
not.
dude.
I thought they
See,
asked-
Lord Asshole is Lord Mazine to me. So remember,
Or
'cause that's what I
new
called him.
asshole.
New one.
Asshole. So then the tomb Cass took Poppy to was so heartbreaking. And then he says, I am not without sin, but I'm not them. And then I said, my heart shattered. I hate the Ascended.
I was crying, probably. I can only imagine, because I'm like, how the fuck can they live with themselves taking the lives of babies? Like,
Especially being pregnant for you right now, right?
yeah,
That I called that they were killing the babies. Like
you did.
I'm like, I bet you they're doing some shit.
I was like, so like, I might have had to pause reading for a minute because I was so upset. I was like, how can you do this? I can't imagine. Like, I just can't. It's just like.
Keep telling us, Kristen, because he is trying.
I'm like, how long can I take this on?
Okay, I have to paint a picture here because
I muted my mic. Before you guys continue with anything, my
I started to eat something. So Kristen says, I just can't imagine how someone could do. And Katie's like putting a hand out to like go on,
Like continue.
because I'm still chewing. So Kristen's like, I just couldn't imagine. And Katie's like, keep it going. And I didn't help at all. I just was like, this is hilarious.
I'm kind of covering for me. I wanted to eat my meat.
I was trying to point it out.
Throw you under the bus type.
Yeah. Yep. Facts.
Oh.
But yeah, you did call the baby thing. Like,
Yeah,
That's
I like.
problem.
Yeah, I'm like, I really can't. Like, I just can't imagine it, especially as him being kicked.
Right.
And this was another cute thing that Cass says. So he says, when you're quiet and somber, you're beautiful. But when you laugh, you are more stunning than the sunrise over the Coast Mountains. And I went, oh, my heart. So he's winning me back now. Okay, it only took 9 chapters. And then I said, is anyone else getting Beauty and the Beast vibes? Being held captive and falling in love with
The
Chap.
I didn't do that.
It's kind of interesting.
Interesting. Like, it's
Yeah.
I can
Kinda
see
cool.
it, but I
Yeah,
didn't pick
yeah.
up on that.
Cool connection.
Do you have anything before I do my chapter's ends?
Probably the same thing that your chapter end is.
Okay. Because still bringing up the marriage, and Poppy asks, why are you so adamant about the marriage? And he responds, it makes so much sense. It is the only way I can get what I want and keep you alive. And then you can go on to live a long, free life. Is that what you had?
I said I knew there was a motive to her marrying him.
Like, knew it.
Called it. Mic drop.
So then chapter 10, we finally get into this conversation 10 fucking chapters later, eh? But anyway, here we are. Cass is explaining that by marrying Poppy, the people will view her as a princess and know that she is part Atlantean and not see her as the maiden. But he also claims that marrying her will also get him what he wants, which she keeps referring to as saving his brother. And I do believe that's what he wants, but I don't think that's what he's talking about here.
Yeah.
Which we find out it kind of is, but
2 stones, one.
yeah.
Or 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah. Cass's father, we find out that Cass's father thinks Malik is either too far gone to be saved or is already dead.
Yeah.
But Cass doesn't think so. And I said, I don't think so either, because I think our story is going to shift into a rescue mission for him at some point, which it does.
Yeah.
And essentially Cass's idea is to have them marry is to show a union between the two people because of what Poppy represents to the people of Solis. And then I said, I must admit, I'm disappointed. I was hoping for a far for a far less practical reason like a mating bond, or he loves her. This is just business arrangement.
Yeah, but at least this is less non-consent, though.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, our bond is just forcing it. It's like, look, this makes sense.
I know, but I
Yeah.
was hoping it was going to be like, which it is.
But it is.
But at this point.
But at this point, it's not.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's just a business arrangement.
I think in my head, I'm still like, nah, there's more.
I think we know that to him it does mean more.
Yeah.
But it's on her side right now. She's like, nah.
Cass has something cute again. So Poppy says, so afterwards, with or without your brother, I'll be free. And Cass says, you'd be free to do as you choose. Poppy says, so this marriage will not be real? And Cass says, it's as real as you believe anything about me is. And he looks upset. And I said, he loves her, right? Right.
He does.
And like, I'm just like, Poppy, how can you not see this at this point? Like, it's.
And then he offers her divorce if that's what she wants in the end. And I was like,
before we get there, like this is right around the same page. I'm flipping through the book. I also wrote, because there's a quote in here as they're talking about he gets what he wants. So she says, like, I looked away, tensing against the desire to recoil. I can understand it, especially after what they'd done to him, but it was hard to forget those months, those years after the attack, where all I had was Ian and the Queen. And I'm like, it bothers me how clear it seems to me that Poppy was groomed by the Queen, but refuses to see it herself. Like, she refuses to see the best in Cass. I'm like, you were fucking groomed.
yeah.
Bothers me so much.
Got all kinds of fuckery in her head she needs to work through.
Because I'm even like, maybe the Queen is nice, because why would she say those things that she said?
No.
Like, I still am half in denial about it.
And I'm like, I get Cass lied to her and she can't trust him, but why does she trust the Queen when she was lied to by her too?
It's true.
And Cass has
At least Cass is like,
shown her the positive. He's like
Yeah.
proven with his like.
he's like, I might have lied to you, but like, let me make it better.
And he's been honest about his reasons, and he has literally saved her life. He's literally, but I guess to her, the Queen has done the same thing.
Yeah.
Once. She saved her life once, and then she sent her away.
Yeah.
And did she save her life, or did she set up the possible almost death?
Exactly. It bothers me
TBD.
so much.
And then he also says that he will still protect her even if she says no. Like if she, because he says he won't force her to marry her.
Yeah.
Marry him. And if she says no, he'll still protect her. I'm like, oh, my heart. And then they agree to get married and do Cass's plan to save his brother and hopefully avoid war, or at least give the mortals time to flee or choose a side.
Yeah.
As long as afterwards Cass helps Poppy see her brother and find out what he's to come. Chapter ends with Poppy telling Cass that she wants an obscenely big ring on her finger. And he responds, I know.
I just got to make this difficult for you if I'm going to have to go through it.
Right? He responds with one that will enter the room before you do. And Poppy thinks I can be pragmatic and do this because this is the way for me to stay alive and get to my brother. Because like Castile, I will do anything for my brother. Chapter end. Chapter 11. Not even halfway.
I have one note on chapter 11.
Do you? What's your note? You start us off.
I don't know where in the chapter this is, but I put sitting in Cass's lap. Very awkward.
Oh, so this is when
It must be when they're at the table.
Yeah.
And they like announce that she's agreed to the marriage, I guess, or they announced
when they're trying to convince Alice Dear.
He's like, come sit in my lap. I can't imagine sitting in someone's lap at a table.
It would be so awkward.
In chairs. Like, no, thank you. That's so weird.
Katie.
Yeah.
This scene didn't give me awkward vibes because of Akhtar.
Oh, that's fair.
That's all I'll say.
I'm imagining sitting at the dinner table with my grandparents and then just me sitting on Todd's lap. Weird. Like, in what scenario?
See, I used to do that with my ex, though.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like
his family was like super open, and so like I would just sit on his knee. Like there would be no chairs.
Like eating dinner.
Maybe not eating.
That's the weird part about it.
Yeah, because they're at dinner, right?
Yes.
But like I was just like, people do it.
Or something.
I don't know. I felt
It didn't bother me.
Wouldn't her knees bump at the table?
That's
Like, I can't get over this.
Yet I love it.
I can't get over this.
Man, it's stuck on it.
And you just think we're like on a couch. And it's like, nah, here. I imagine a chair with arms, like a dining chair with arms.
There would have been, more sensible options for she is found, but here we are. So I wrote my first note for chapter 11. I don't know if this is how it actually opens. Kristen, maybe you can correct me.
Yeah, I got it.
But Kieran saying that he knew Cass's plan changed before he knew. So Kieran is saying that Kieran himself knew that Cass's plans changed before Cass knew himself. And Poppy said, yeah, when he found out I was part Atlantean. And this is when he says, no, it was long before that.
Yeah.
And then I put, being Wolven, I imagine his senses are even stronger than Cass, because Cass is not Wolven. And he can sense that Cass has true feelings for Poppy, maybe even the bond.
Told you.
Yeah.
Before even that, though, that she talks about, like, I think she talks about the war and, like, how she doesn't want war. And I wrote, why do I know if the war is still going to happen?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Otherwise,
Like,
it wouldn't even have been mentioned. I only have 3 notes for this chapter, so I think I was kind of zoned in at this point and not writing down.
I also said I want to know more about the bond between Kieran and Cass.
Yeah.
We start talking about it there. This is when we start hearing about their bond, I think,
Yeah.
or more about the bond. And I feel like I assumed it was romantic and not platonic, like the Wolven Atlantean bond.
Yeah, like we just.
I think because we assumed that, like, it was
It was a love
Poppy
bond,
was
basically.
like Wolven and he was Atlantean, and that's how they're gonna bond. But I do like how it's a platonic bond and not just romantic.
Yeah.
I mean, unless Kieran has romantic feelings for Cass, but I don't
It
think
doesn't
so.
seem like it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. I mean, he could, but it doesn't seem like it.
I just was like, thank God. Like, I want more platonic bonds.
Right?
Exactly.
Yes, not everything has to be romantic. And then I put, why does it feel like Alistair is the bad guy? Which I don't believe
This
that
is chapter
anymore.
11 still? Or are we on
Yeah, chapter 11. Poppy is meeting him and is trying to make him believe that they are in love. Also, I think Cass does love her and that she will come around to it.
Yeah.
And then I have my chapters end. So is there anything else that you have before
I just want to know more about Alistair, too.
Okay.
Like, I think he really intrigued me this chapter.
So I put chapter ends with Alistair trying to figure out how Poppy snuck out of the Red Pearl and how she and Cass met. He ends up saying that he likes her, says it's shocking she wasn't taken during one of her outings, and Cass responds with, but someone did take her, and Alistair says, yes, but do you intend to keep her? Chapter end.
Dun, dun, dun.
Chapter 12. So this is when we find out that Cass is actually, like, supposed to be king when he comes back.
Is this what she talks to Alistair on his own separate?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. Yes. And we find out that, like, he's been gone for, I think it was 2 years.
Few.
And that the intent was because the parents think that Malik is, like, not savable and or dead. And so when Cass comes back, he's supposed to accept the role as king. And she doesn't know this at this point because up until this point, Malik is, like, the heir. And that's what but essentially the king and queen are like, look, we can't keep waiting.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be king now. So
I just wrote, I like Alistair.
yes, because this is probably why. Alistair saying he will not defend this engagement to the king and queen if he suspects that Poppy's being forced to it against her will.
Yes.
And I went, yes, Alistair. He's all about that consent. And then Alistair saying that Cass would have been a son if fate hadn't played out differently. And then I put, qu'est-ce que c'est?
Yes, I wrote Cass would have been Alistair's son, ? More, please. Does he have ulterior motives? Will he betray Cass or the king? And then, well, just his daughter. I went through all this theory building. I'm like, no. But before we move on, you wrote something down about someone smelling like vanilla, did you not?
Yeah, in the dream. The brother is taken away by someone who smells like vanilla.
Because I'm just reading this, and maybe it's just my tired brain. Because she's reaching out to Alistair. I reached out with my senses again, this time not hesitating. Sincerity echoed through the invisible cord, tasting like warm vanilla.
Interesting.
Do we think there's a connection?
Well, she said the feeling is sincerity, which tastes like warm vanilla. So
But she smells vanilla.
Vanilla with sincerity? Or with, like, the murder of her?
So,
or is it something
tasting versus smelling, and sincerity versus?
It's just weird that it's vanilla.
Yeah, it's weird that they're both vanilla.
That's weird. I'm just going.
Maybe I'm just reading into things too much.
Just going back to my notes. Sorry, just one.
I don't remember what chapter it was.
Okay, weird theory, but I don't know how it would do anything here. But do we the vanilla was the person taking her dad away or her brother?
I found it here. So a couple of things I noticed. She says something about a man coming to want to talk to her papa and take him out with him. Does that not seem odd? Ian was then taken away by a woman who smells like vanilla. Do we think that's the queen? Was my note.
Because I was going to say maybe it was Alistair because he's been around for a long time, and maybe he was trying to help their family and was there during the attack as well.
But he doesn't. He says
But
he doesn't know their
exactly.
family
Exactly. That's what I
unless it
saying.
was
'Cause
someone.
I said
Unless the
here-
woman that took Ian was somehow related to Alistair.
I just don't think that the vanilla thing is. I think it's related, but not directly, because she's
Yeah.
saying it smelled like vanilla, and she's saying that this emotion feels like vanilla, and that the emotion that feels like vanilla is sincerity. So I almost wonder if the being sincere is related
It's
to
more
the
what we're supposed to
person
focus on.
that
Yeah.
her brother.
So maybe Ian is not even held by the Ascended right now.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I
maybe
mean,
he's.
like maybe someone was helping,
But why wouldn't they have saved Poppy too?
Maybe they
But they
couldn't.
knew-
Maybe they
knew-
couldn't get back in.
and maybe they knew that he would have been killed because they didn't need him.
Or like someone was supposed to get Ian and someone was supposed to get Poppy, and the person who was supposed to get Poppy died. And like they can't not let.
She didn't get Ian though, because she grew up with him beyond that.
Oh,
Ian was in the
right.
nursery.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
So
You're
that
right. You're
doesn't
right.
even make
Right.
sense.
You're right. 'Cause
Anyway.
she had a relationship with him
Yeah.
up until his ascension.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. I forgot about that.
Anyway, it's just weird that they're both vanilla.
Yeah, I agree.
That is very weird. So then, Cass, so this is when we find out he'd been engaged before. And then I said, does he mean like a father-in-law? And then I said, oh my God, Shay was his daughter. And we find out that Poppy reminds him of her. And then I put, and he reminds Poppy of Victor, like a father figure. This can't be a
Oh,
coincidence.
that's cool. I did not catch that at all.
Because he says,
Yeah.
like, you remind me of my daughter. And she has said, you remind, like, in her
You're
head,
like a dad.
Yeah.
you remind me of Victor, who was like her dad.
That's cool.
And I'm like, this can't be a coincidence. It's just too cute. And then Alistair offers to take Poppy away if she's being held against her will. All she has to do is say it. Poppy is crying. Gah. That was my note. Poppy gives him a hug and he hugs her back. Oh my God, my heart.
That made me cry.
I know. It was so cute. And then Poppy asks if because like, so we find out, I didn't write this down in my notes, I'm sorry, but we find out that Alistair used to help people
Yes.
that like trapped Atlanteans
Yeah.
that were in
She asked maybe he came across her parents.
yes, like would my parents have been able to seek people like you to help get to Atlantia?
Mm-hmm.
And he said could have been. And then the chapter ends with us finding out that her parents' names are Coralina and Leopold. Cora and Leo for short. Alistair's face tightens at the mention of Cora's name and then promises to ask when he gets back to Atlantia. As it is a unique name, they would recognize it. And I said, do we think he knew her mom? Why would his face tighten?
I know. That's
He
how
heard
I
it.
felt. Maybe he was involved in something. Not
I
in the
don't
bad.
think it's saving her because I think he would have.
Yeah.
It's weird.
'Cause I put that too. Learning the first names of her parents, Cora and Leo, seems important.
Mhm.
I
And
don't think
wrote,
his
"Do you think
face
Malice
his face
is
doesn't
alive?"
tighten after he learns the names though.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Read what it says.
Wanting to know is understandable. I understand. His features tightened for a moment and then they smoothed out. Most of those who knew to look for us used false names. What were your parents' first names? So then she says, but he does say Coralina. Alistair said after a moment, clearing his throat. I looked at him, but he too was staring at the lamp.
So he is acting weird.
He is acting weird.
He is acting,
Yeah, you just
that rang a bell
yeah.
almost.
I had the right sentence.
yes, you did.
Okay. All right. I was like, I swear it said he was weird about it.
Yeah, he was weird.
Okay. All right. I just had the wrong words. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So then we go into chapter 13. Cass is talking to Poppy about the her and Alistair's conversation, saying he knows that he probably offered to help her escape because that's the kind of man that he is.
Yeah.
And she says that he did, but that she turned it down because they had made an agreement. Poppy says she has questions. One's more important than what the conversation was about. And Kieran says, you have questions? How utterly shocking. I just loved him. He's so funny. So then Poppy stays in the library while Cass goes to meet with Alistair, and Kieran stays with her as the bodyguard. And the two of them find an old Atlantean history record from 800 years ago. And it mentions wyvern and how they are bloodlines that used to exist that could take the form of large cats. And then I wrote, what the fuck? And I'm not going to tell you why, because you're currently reading that book.
Oh, that's
that
hilarious.
word is in that book, and
That
it's something
word-
totally different. And then this is when, this was weird. Another thing that they just dropped and walked away from.
The shock.
Kieran touches Poppy and acts as if he had been
Yes!
burned.
Why?
He said
is
he-
this happening?
I'm like
He says he felt a huge shock like being struck by lightning, but Poppy didn't feel anything. What the hell?
something more has to be coming from that.
Right?
From all of it. You smell like death.
You're shocking
Oops, we
me
just
like
got
lightning.
electrocuted. Oh my God, did you just scream something out loud?
Yeah, it's weird, right? And it's
Okay.
never mentioned again.
Here's a crackpot theory that I absolutely hate.
Hit me.
Love triangle.
No.
I know, but hear me out.
And that was the spark of it.
This is why I hate it. She smells like death. He feels like he was struck by lightning when he touches her. She doesn't feel it.
It's all like these negatives.
What if what if there's something on his part towards her? She smells like death because she'll be the death of him because he's having feelings towards a heart bonded person, and the lightning is like a connection. But I told you I hated it.
I don't like it.
I hate it. I don't want it to be true.
It explains the shock now that I'm remembering this.
Does it?
Yeah, Cass says something like the Wolven. He explained it. I don't think it like super explained it, but he said something about it. He definitely did. He said, "Oh my God."
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look through my.
He
notes.
definitely did. I don't think it explained it because
He moves on from it really fast.
She says it to Cass. He leaves, I'm pretty sure. Like, he pretty much is like, I'm out.
Literally my next bullet point.
I was gonna say, yeah, I thought so. I don't know why I forgot and then just suddenly remembered.
Okay, so Cass comes in and dismisses Kieran. So Kieran leaves, and Poppy asks about the shock thing, and Cass says that Wolven are extra sensitive to electric current. But what the fuck? Poppy isn't electrical current. Could this mean an elemental bloodline, maybe literal elements, and she's electricity? I said I'm probably reading too far into this, but it's not explained anything more than that.
You're right. That was like, I can't remember how much, but it does get
It does.
addressed a bit.
It was literally
like,
my next bullet.
Yeah.
Whoops. So yeah, he says that they are more sensitive to electric currents.
was she like walking on carpet? It just seems so ridiculous.
So
Obviously,
because she says, he got a static shock from his arm brushing mine, and he behaved as if I'd done it on purpose. And he says, you know how some electrical wiring can short out, emit sparks, or charges of energy? Wolven can lose control over their forms if they come into contact with electricity, even at harmless levels. Sometimes during a particularly bad lightning storm, they're often affected by it. Okay, well then, he's still weird. And then I think they move on.
So she doesn't even question like that I'm not fucking electricity.
I think it was.
I think she just assumes it was a static shock.
Static shock. He was saying like a small,
but it was
static
more
shock
sensitive for him.
can
Yes.
make him
I don't
lose
feel like
control
that's
of his
it.
form.
I don't think it
It's not
is.
like that's
Even
it.
if that was it at that moment, it's still like, why bring that up?
Yeah.
What relevance does that
Yeah.
have to the story? So
Yeah.
it has to.
It
like,
means something.
something's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because why else say that?
Yeah.
It just is irrelevant. If
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird. So Cassis then starts telling, because Poppy was like, oh, he was just about to tell me about the Draken.
Draken.
How do they say it? Draken? I don't remember. How's
I
it
think
spelled?
you're right. I
Kristen?
think you're saying right.
Draken.
Draken.
I think it's true.
But interesting enough, this is an italic, whereas the other one was
Oh, weird.
that Wyvern.
Cass then tells Poppy that Draken are a bloodline that can essentially turn into dragons. Cass says that the legends say they are not extinct, but slumbering where the gods are protecting them.
I wrote, will there eventually be a side trip to get Draken on their side in the war?
Ooh, for the upcoming war. Actually, I think one of the books in this is called The War of Two Queens, isn't it?
I don't know. I didn't read up any of the other titles.
I'm pretty sure it is.
What does that have to do with Dragon? So
Because Kristen said they're going to...
I think they're going to get the Draken on their side for the war.
It's going to be the war that they're trying to avoid.
oh, I see what you're saying.
So who's the second queen? Is it Poppy?
Maybe
Probably.
because she's princess.
Yeah.
Could be.
And she's going to battle Bad Queen?
Could be. Oh, that would be epic.
Finally!
actually. That would be so epic.
I hope so.
Interesting. And then the chapter ends with Nail coming in saying company is arriving. Cass asks who it is, and he responds, the Ascended.
My only note on this, I was reading this late at night, and I just wrote, can I say I'm mad that I'm literally falling asleep as the Ascended are coming their way? I was so mad. I took the time to write it out that I was mad.
It documented my anger.
Not happy.
So chapter 14 ends with starts with Poppy and Cass taking off through the forest, and I in my head I'm imagining them kind of like looping around again. So they
Yes.
look at
Yeah, I
what's
think
going
so.
on. And the knights have arrived. Poppy has never actually seen one outside of the capital before. And the knights are now talking to Elijah, and he comes out saying that a young woman had shown up recently, has recently shown up, and he's asking where she went. And then Mrs. Toulis comes out of the carriage, so we find out that she's the culprit.
One of them should have been like, there was a Mrs. Toulis.
Yeah.
And then, okay, there she is then. Well, she said this. Well, she's a liar.
We know it was her, and I'm like, I know this is an overtop reaction, thanks hormones, and I know it was likely out of desperation, but I hate the Toulises right now. And I was like, even more, fuck the Ascended. She was put in an impossible position.
Note here that said, Mrs. Toulis just came out of the carriage. Did she rat them out? And I said, yep, she did. She got cut off, but I'm assuming she was about to say they took her son. So I don't know.
Yeah, because it very specifically says, like, the wind had tugged at her hair, talking about Mrs. Toulis, leaving the strands that had already fallen. Her arms were curled around her chest, her empty arms. Where's her son? I asked. Castile shook his head when I looked at him. Tell me again, Mrs. Toulis, Cheney said, stopping once more. Who arrived here just a few days ago? It was the maiden, she stammered, and my heart dropped. The chosen. She came with others from Macedonia. She like pauses though. She's like stumbling over her words, like it's Macedonia. Like there's a line break. So like, and then she takes the steps towards Elijah. I'm sorry, and Cheney cuts her off.
So that's probably where I'm like, took my son. I probably assume.
Yeah, I think it's very heavily implied there that they took her son, and that's where I'm like, even more fuck the Ascended.
And then, like, what's his face says to Elijah, like, oh, like, why would she say that?
So you're saying she's a liar?
Yeah, you saying she's a liar? And he's like, well, we don't. And he's like, I'm saying there's no maiden here, and they're all kind of like smirking at each other.
And this keep because it's technically not a lie.
Yeah. And then Cheney kills Mrs. Toulis and then tries to blame them for that, saying, well, you said she was lying and liars need to be punished. And then the knight starts killing people left and right because he guts the one guy. And then I put Cass is pissed. He says that one's going to die and slowly. And he gives Poppy her bloodstone dagger back and then walks into the clearing. He declares that he has the maiden and he is not giving her back and says he is the one that they call the Dark One.
Dun, dun, dun.
Chapter ends with the royal guard splitting and there were Ascended among them. Poppy realizes that they don't intend on keeping anyone in the village alive.
I wrote, so this is what I'm thinking. So I wrote here, can the Ascended change forms, like purposefully lose control? And I don't think this is actually true, but, because it says here, yes, I have the maiden and I'm not giving her back. Lord Cheney changed, and that's italicized. Gone was the veneer of civility. His face contorted, cheekbones sharpening as his jaw dropped. Those eyes burned like coal, like a craven's. I stumbled back, bumping into Delano, and I saw the truth once more. The Ascended bared his fangs, and he hissed like a large serpent dropping into a crouch.
So it's like they kind of went like...
So it's like they changed. And I was like, can they purposely lose control?
So chapter 15 opens with Cass killing one of the lords.
Half the knights.
One of the knights with a bloodstone.
Yeah.
And the skin cracks and blows away, leaving only his clothes. And Poppy jumps into the fight and kills another knight by throwing the dagger right at his head and saves the little boy. Oh, that little boy. I was so sad about it.
No. I'm like, are you for real? Could you not have thrown her bone? Like, I know they need to prove the point that the Ascended are terrible, but like, point was made. Like, prior to that.
Yeah. I think when she drops the knife, I was like, no.
But the thing is, like, what, like, she couldn't have.
What is she gonna do? Because I were like, sad part is I can see her still making the sacrifice and Lord Cheney's still killing the boy.
Which is exactly what happens.
Which is exactly what happens. Because she says, like, leave the boy alone. And I think he promises that he will. I think he says the boy will remain at the keep. And I wrote, like, the boy remains at the keep, but he doesn't say alive. Yeah. Like, he says the boy will stay here.
He did what he said.
Yeah.
And then someone else comes behind her and knocks her in the head. Knocks her unconscious, and then all fades to black. And then when she wakes up, Cheney appears to be gravely injured. He's kind of like, is he pale in color? Is that how it's
That's
described?
So his skin was bleached of all color, and I could see the faint blue veins underneath. And I was like, Lord Cheney about to become, or take her blood to heal.
What's kind of stupid is if he was going to feed off of her knowing what she was, why didn't he do that while she was knocked out?
I know.
Like,
Literally.
he's like, I'm going to wait for you to fight me. Now I'm going to feed off of you.
Yeah. So then he starts trying to drink Poppy's blood, and then Poppy stabs him with her meat knife in his chest because she realizes she still has it. I love that he let her keep it.
I really loved the friend vibes there.
I know. And then the chapter ends with Cheney sinking his teeth into her arm. Any other notes?
I just wrote, there it is. Cheney is the new Lord Asshole.
It's the new Lord Asshole. I love it. I love it. So then he's like, I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but Poppy's having like an inner monologue, like, I don't have to take this. I'm not this defenseless little girl that I used to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she starts stabbing the hell out of him with the meat knife, like literally just poking holes everywhere on him. And then I said, she hears sounds outside. Is it Cass? And then I said, it is. And she called him Hawk. Oh my God. Because like he gets,
yeah. I was like, he found her.
No.
I know. I was like, where is he? He's clearly dead, but he's not dead. But like, how did he allow this to happen?
Yeah,
Like,
what the fuck? And then he said, Hawk thought that Poppy was going to be dead when he got there. And I said, oh my God, he asked her why she did it. And she said she wanted Cheney to let the boy live. And Hawk said he didn't let the boy live.
I remember this. I went back and read it. So he says he could have killed you. He said, you're only half Atlantean. Something about that was important. Something Cheney said. But my thoughts were like wisps of smoke. And so I went back and found the quote. So something he said, Cheney said, you may only be half Atlantean, but your blood is potent.
And remember she says to Cass, like, Cass says, they want you for this. And she's like, no, that's not. They want this. And he's like, well, no, they're lying to you. I don't think he was lying. The Cheney guy, he explained something else that we hadn't known yet. And she said, Cass, they told me this. And he was like,
I don't know.
Basically, like, you can't trust who send it. This was
Um,
when before I knew how to
Do the voice
thing.
notes.
oh, here it is. Here it is. I was charged with finding you. Do you know what it is? Your patience and generosity, she says. I didn't know the maiden was so feisty. I know what is really in your blood, and I dare say I know even more than you do. That's him. Her. Is that so? His lips parted, and I wanted to recoil from the sight of his fangs, a reaction that was nothing like when I saw Castile's. You cannot even begin to comprehend why you were chosen, but that's neither here nor there. You'll learn soon enough. And what is it that I'll learn? She says. His eyes, a kaleidoscope of red and black, fixed on me, that you will usher in a whole new era of Ascended. I missed that. And she's like, don't you think I already know that? And I don't think you can possibly begin to understand what that means. Be that as it may, you are right. I'm a bit more wounded than I let on. And if it hadn't been Bloodstone, I would be healing by now. I've said to the king and queen time and time again that all the Bloodstone needs to be destroyed. So, like,
He's basically saying a whole new era of Ascended.
Yeah.
Like something
Lifted,
different about
maybe
that.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
And then
there's
she
something
says
different
that to
about her
Cass,
blood.
And he was like, no, like, we can't. Like, you can't trust that.
Interesting. I did not catch that. I just thought meant like making more of them. That's
Because
what
I'm
I thought.
sure she brings it up to Cass and he brushes it off. And
This ends. She's kind of like delirious. So she's kind of like in and out of it. And Hawk brings her back in his arms back to the keep.
yeah, I think it's in the keep that they talk about it after because he gives her blood, right?
Yeah.
And they talk about.
So Poppy wakes up. She comes to and she's up in their bed. And then he mentions to her it's technically illegal for him to share his blood. And the chapter ends with Poppy wanting to go help the others in pain. Like the people that survived the attack, by using her gift. And at first Cass says no, and then she brings up how she was forced to do nothing by the Ascended and she hated it and said don't be like them. And Cass says fine, better get dressed. So chapter 17 opens with Poppy and Cass making their way down to the injured people, and he grabs her hand and he looks at her and she says what? And he just responds with sparks. And I put, do we think this is similar to how Kieran got shocked from her? What is the
Ooh.
I didn't even catch that.
Because he like looked at her and she goes, what? Like, why are you looking at me? And he just says sparks.
I was wroting, like, I wrote the change.
I was roading.
Roading. Listen, it's my bedtime. There's because right before that it says a charge of awareness seemed to pass between our joined palms, traveling up my arm. I glanced at Castile in surprise, and that's when he's like, sparks. And I was like, is it a bond of sorts? Sparks?
Like Bond.
Yeah, bond.
But then why would Kieran?
Is it because he'd given her his blood or from before? I was just trying to figure out what it meant.
Yeah.
When they get down to where Poppy was attacked, there was so this is like from the night before when she was attacked with the
blood
thing at the back
tree.
of her head. There was the fully grown tree that wasn't there before. Poppy calls
yeah,
it
the
a blood
blood
tree.
tree.
And I said, is that like what grows in the blood forest?
Yes.
Yes.
We find out that it is, right? And then Cass says that it's an omen that the gods are watching and something big is coming. Some big change is coming.
Yeah.
And then, so now Poppy is starting to heal take away the people's suffering or whatever.
Yeah.
I said, Poppy's now able to bring peace without thinking her happy thoughts. I said, is this her power growing? Because before she used to have
Yeah.
whatever, and now she just literally felt her hands and was like, "Woo, let's go."
Let's go.
And then I put the Wolven saying, I don't know who's saying this, but Wolven saying, "Ah, now I see." And then he says, "Jasper will be interested." And I put, who is Jasper? Do we know who Jasper is?
I don't think so. And when he said, now I see, I kind of took that, and maybe I should have took it as more than this, but like, let's see, he was like third in line, him seeing all the people being like, oh my God. And he's like, oh, now I see. Like what? But it may be more than that, and that was just being kind of.
Nah, I might just be trying to look for too much, you know?
But it is interesting. Like,
but we don't know who Jasper is,
I don't
right?
think
He just
so.
said this random name and then she didn't even question it. I'm like, okay, all right, maybe I missed something. So I don't know who Jasper is. But anyway, Jasper will be interested in something.
Yeah, because she even says, curious as to who Jasper was. I moved on to the next man.
Like, ask more, Poppy.
Yeah, so she just talks to Alistair next, but before she does that, she's about to heal someone, or she doesn't heal the girl. They whisper at you, the families of the attended, that is. But even this girl, again, repeats, you are a second daughter, not a maiden, but chosen nonetheless. So I'm like, oh, it's like the seer again, saying that same line. They said you gave dignity to those cursed. Her skin creased as she smiled at her daughter, ended their pain before you ended their suffering. I didn't believe them. A tear dropped onto the woman's chest. I didn't believe anything raised by the Ascended could give something of such worth. I didn't believe. Her breath caught her eyes. Flecks of gold seemed to burn brighter as she stared at me, stared straight into me. You are a second daughter, not a maiden, but chosen nonetheless. So I'm like, that's
something.
So
that's something.
Okay, hold on.
Because that's like the second or third time it's come up.
Thinking on the
The
spot.
second daughter has to mean something. Maybe it's like of a deity. Maybe
That's what I was just thinking.
Jinx.
What do you think about this? You owe me a Coke.
Because the deity are kind of seen like as the
gods.
War of Two Queens, the next book. Deities are supposed to like more powerful than Castiel's bloodline. Maybe she takes over as like Queen of Atlantis. Not because they're married, but because she's part fucking deity and she trumps.
And the queen and them know that. And that's why she's going to bring in the new era, is because there's deity blood.
Oh shit. That has to be it. I think we're onto something.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
100%.
Oh shit. I think we're right. And I like it. Okay, so I have two notes that I think support our thing. So Poppy asks Cass what the omen could be with regards to the blood tree, and Cass says he doesn't think Poppy has anything to do with it, but I don't think that's true.
It wasn't where she was almost.
Yes. And then my next one says
where her blood hit the ground.
Yes. And my next one says, out of all of the bloodlines, the empaths are the closest to deities and were called soul eaters because they could take energies and emotions from people they could take the emotions of what people were feeling. But it says they were the closest to deities.
Yes.
And were the empaths all killed?
They thought they were.
So.
But the deities were, or so they say.
Correct.
Do you think that
I thought the deities were in slumber.
No, the
gods.
Oh, the gods.
Not the deities.
What do you think, that whatever battle killed the deities created the blood forest? And that's
all the blood?
Probably,
that's
yeah.
What the battle was? I think we're onto something.
We gotta be.
And then my next point is, I feel sad that I ever thought Alistair was going to be a bad guy. He's just so kind.
I know.
He is.
So now she's talking with Alistair. And he says he thinks that the omen could be because of the upcoming marriage. Hopefully it means, and I said, hopefully it means that they are mates and that they are going to bring everything together. Yep. And it's, because she's going to be Davy. And then this is when we find out that Cass didn't know the woman at the Red Pearl. And I said, who the heck is she? And I said, oh, this was my theory. I knew I had a theory about it. I said, maybe she's a deity.
Because I was just going to say, how would she know? Like, how would these people know what a second, like, if being a second daughter means that? How do these people know that? Like, so they must be in the know of something that,
maybe
like,
they're
even
like
Castile
seers.
and them.
Yeah, I assume
Don't know.
seers.
Because they have talked about seers in this book.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because he even says, or someone, really, I replied, Jai-Tone, the one you had sent me to your room, I think she was a seer, a changeling. He's like, I didn't have any woman send you to my room, not a changeling, especially not a changeling. I knew who you were the moment I pulled that hood back, but I had no idea who sent you to my room. She's like, what?
What do you mean you don't know her?
What?
My whole life is a lie again.
Yeah.
Sorry. So now Cass pulls her into the pantry saying he needs a moment alone with her. And then I put,
I
kiss her.
thought it was too cute. I'm like, this is so
I
cute.
put, kiss her. Well, only if she wants it. Consent king. LOL.
Consent kiss, please.
So I like that, and I was like, ugh, but him saying, like, where we can pretend like I'm just Hawk, I'm like, that actually made me really sad, because I'm like, he truly cares for her, and like,
he believes himself as Hawk, because like that's what his mom and his
yeah, like that's like, that is his identity, and like, she can't see it, and she's like, oh, I'll only kiss you if you're Hawk. I'm like, how awful must that feel for Hawk? Like, he cares and like loves for her, and like, the person he loves is only gonna kiss him if he's not fully himself, like, you know, she's only accepting one side. Yeah.
So I wrote,
I'm like, not that I think you'll hold it against her, but like,
no, I know my heart hurts for him.
It hurts.
I put, there's only one thing, this is his quote, there's only one thing I need, something that I have needed for days, weeks, months, maybe forever, but I know you won't allow it, not like this. Poppy, what have you needed for this long? And Cass says, you. And I said, mates.
She's like, he could never love me. What is all of this? Like, I'm so, like, just.
I think as you're so annoyed about that, and I'm so annoyed that she's like, that she still thinks the queen freaking loves her. Like, equal annoyance, but on the queen thing.
And then I said, oh my God, I'm crying. The next quote. There was no, let's just pretend there's no yesterday or tomorrow, just us right now, and I can be Hawk and you can be just Poppy. And then I put, I love him again. He says it's just pretend, but we know it's not. Chapter ends, Poppy, just pretend, Hawk, just pretend, Poppy, yes. Fade to black, oh, you best pick this up in the next chapter. And then chapter 18 starts, oh, goody.
I wrote, they're so into each other. Like, I know they're like, she's denying it, but they are so into each other.
And then Hawk is now taking it slow, kissing Poppy. And she says, I thought you were going to kiss me. And he goes, isn't that what I'm doing? Like, oh my God, I love it. And then I put, spice, baby.
And then that's it.
Hawk, you bugger! I think that's enough. No, sir.
Not for me. Not for me.
Not when I like you again.
Right? I don't hate you anymore.
And then I said, Hawk, just tell her you love her. God damn it.
I know. I'm like, will that be enough for her to get out of this? Well, he could never care for me, even though all of these things he's done that
I know.
Obvious.
Right? And then we went from spice to deathly injuries pretty fast, because he literally takes her out of the pantry after he says that's enough, and it wasn't enough. And they go down to
my gift is the dungeon,
and that's where Cheney is like up on the wall, and he's got missing like an eye, and
it's gross.
It was quite gross.
Yeah, let's just skip that.
Hawk didn't kill Cheney, and he's leaving him for Poppy, and she gets her blade back. So he hands her back her thing and says she can keep it even after what happens down here. And then Poppy says, what? He doesn't speak anymore? And Kieran says, I ripped his tongue out. Poppy and Cass look at him. What? He annoyed me.
I was like, I wrote, even like Kieran being so chill about tearing asshole 2.0's tongue out made me laugh.
I know, I actually LOL.
I'm like, oh my God, this is great.
I love Kieran. And then I put, Poppy stabs that fucker's heart. Bye-bye.
Also, I'm like, I felt really bad. I'm like, from blood and ash, the ascendant turned into ash. This took me too long to get.
Oh.
From blood and ash, we shall rise.
Because they take their blood and then die in ash. That's so interesting.
From blood and ash, we
that's-
saw rise, and
I did not get that until you said that right
and
now.
then like they turn into ash, and I'm like, this took me way too long.
I was today years old, so I took even
Me
longer than you.
too. Samesies.
I'm learning this right now as we speak.
Yeah, I watched as his flesh cracked and peeled back, flaking off and scattering. And then it literally says, I didn't turn until nothing remained but a fine dusting of ash.
Literally says it word for word. I did not pick up on that till you said that. And then we find out some more about the bond with Kieran, and we find out that he can't read thoughts, but he can sense injuries and emotions. And when Cass was captured for 5 decades, Kieran said he was so physically ill that he couldn't even walk for the entire time.
It's crazy.
And he said the bond doesn't happen much anymore because it's not a requirement anymore, and that there's not enough woven left now anyways. And then the chapter ends with Poppy going back underground and carving the name.
That made me so sad.
Oh.
Like, that I think just shows like her pure heart. Like,
Even that she put like Miss Tulip.
Like
Mr.
Tulis
Tulis
tried to kill her. Mrs. Tulis ratted her out.
Yeah.
and then obviously
Because
the
she knew
Tobias.
it was all a direct reflection.
Yeah.
Of this and that.
Yeah.
I thought that like that was a very like powerful scene.
Okay, so now chapter 19 opens again and Poppy is having another nightmare. This time she says she notices the smell of smoke and says that the mist is really, really thick. And I said, do we think that it actually wasn't Craven mist and that it was actually fire? And I said, why? I don't know. But blood and ash always makes me think of fire. And then I put, no, that's one way to forget a nightmare, LOL.
Yeah.
It sure is.
I think I wrote, she's kidding herself, pretending.
Right.
And
this is why I'm just like, oh, it makes it even worse. I'm like, lady, just admit it. Stop saying what you're saying.
So he gives her a little action and doesn't require any for himself. And it was, and then he just holds her.
She was Poppy and he was simply Hawk.
Just holds her after. And I said, he loves her. I wish he would just say it. She truly believes that he's acting and I know he's not.
Like, just say it, lady.
I know.
Not lady.
I know.
Both of them, actually.
Yeah.
And then I put time to go to Atlantia, baby, because they wake up in the morning. It's time to travel.
Yeah.
I'm a little bitter in this whole first half. We didn't even
Same.
get to see Atlantia.
Same.
No.
So that'll be fun for the next half. And then Elijah says, so they're getting on the horse, and Elijah says, protect her, like to Cass. And Cass says, I always protect what is mine. And Elijah says, I'm sure you do. And then I put, I like it, Elijah's banter. I'm glad he didn't die in the vampire attack. And then the chapter ends with them starting to take off on the horses, and Poppy makes a comment to Cass that she belongs to no one but herself. And he asks if he can have a small piece of her for himself, any piece that she chooses. And she doesn't give anything away, but thinks he already owns too many.
With the, just going back a minute, until next time Elijah bowed, I'm like, I have a bad feeling we might not see him again.
I know. Because he's kind of like a comic relief right now. Yeah. So they take off on chapter 20 starts with them on the horses.
Yes.
And they're going to make their way, which is like a couple week trip.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like a long time.
To even start the chapter off, I wrote immediately, I like quotes that he called her out on turning quiet again, like communication.
Exactly.
But do you know what I don't like about it? I like that, but then the second half of this ride, he turns quiet. Not once is she like, what's wrong? Can I help you? Like, she's quiet.
She should have called him out.
She should have, but she didn't.
Yeah.
So, like, she's really quiet, and he's like, this isn't like you. What's going on?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And then it's opposite, where he's quiet. She's thinking, this isn't like him, blah, blah, blah.
But she's not doing
But
the
she doesn't
same.
do anything. And
I
it's
know.
like,
No.
I get it's because she can't admit to herself that she cares, and he clearly cares.
Yeah, and knows that he
But
does.
it's just like, I'm like, oh, he deserves that.
Yeah.
Like, he does.
You know,
Like,
and
give him
I
the
was
same-
like,
I'm like,
he's obviously struggling with,
like help.
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I just really liked how, like, I feel like that just showed again that he cared for her when he's like, this isn't like you, are you
He
okay?
recognizes
Yeah,
it.
like, he's recognizing it and, like, calling it out and, like, wanting to open that line of communication with her and like,
and make her feel better.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so Poppy then explains to him, like why she's quiet, and it's because she doesn't know how to act around others in order for people to believe in their engagement. And Hawk says to just be yourself because no one would believe that he would sacrifice his brother for a meek, quiet woman. And I'm like, oh, he just loves her for like who she is.
Right.
Yeah. And I was like, if anything, like, her suddenly changing would be suspicious. Like, she's like, I don't know
Yeah.
how to act. I'm like, no, that's so much more. If you go from like, no, I'm not fucking marrying you, to,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm so happy. Like, you're
But
gonna
we're
be
not
like,
saying anything at all.
and if people know his talent is compulsion, what are they gonna think? He's constantly
He's-
compulsing her.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like, think, Poppy, think.
Think.
Good
Use your
call.
fucking brain. Then Poppy elbows Cass, and Kieran says, "No fighting on the horse." Cass says, "It was just a love tap," and Delano says, "Didn't look like a love tap." Then Poppy says that she will give him a love tap to the face if he keeps it up, and I just thought it was funny. I just like the banter. Cass goes back to saying that she just needs to be herself. No couple is one personality with each other. They fight, they play, and nobody is perfect.
I love it.
I know. It's just so cute. And then he says, if she chooses to leave after the arrangement, and she says, if, you mean when? And he says, when then? And goes on to say that she deserves to be loved and treated right with whoever she chooses to love. And I'm like, oh, this just hurts my heart. So sad.
So cute.
I know. Oh, and I made note of this. I don't know if you guys caught it, but do you remember last pod we were talking about, and we were like, is it brother and friend, or is it the same person? Because we had all wrote and we're like, is it two different people, or is he saying it's
Oh,
the same
yes,
person?
yes.
No, I don't. What are we talking about? Brother and friend.
He said he'd lost his brother and friend.
He lost, like, why he was
Yeah.
Oh, because the friend is what's
is
Yeah.
So I said, the mystery is solved from our last pod. It was brother
Yes.
and best friend who Hawk had talked about losing, two separate people. Poppy is wondering if the best friend is Shay, which we find out. it is.
Yeah.
Good call. I didn't connect that.
I was like, hey, we were
Yeah.
wondering about this.
That's a good call.
And then I just said, poor Hawk, I want to know what happened
Me
to Shay. I'm so
too.
sad about it.
Yeah.
Anyway. So they're on the horse and they're going through the forest and they see the bone.
To the trees.
The bone-shaped rope things hanging from
The
the
Death
trees.
Clan or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Bone Clan is what I wrote. Did I get that right?
That's probably right.
Dead Bones Clan.
Dead.
Ah.
Combo of the channel.
Look at that.
I said, that sounds creepy. Chapter ends with attack begins from the trees and Hawk is knocked around.
I think that's why I wrote, of course, something else.
Yeah,
There always is.
always. Hawk has arrows coming out of his back at the opening of chapter 21. But it's okay because they're not bloodstone and did not get his head. He's more mad about his cloak being ruined.
He is. A-okay.
This was a really good cloak. It was warm.
Right.
That was funny.
Not the arrows hanging out.
Poppy settles in and attacks one of the clan with a crossbow that Hawk had given her because he gives her like the automated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Delano attacks another in wolven form and then breaks him by shaking him like a dog. And then Poppy is kind of like starts arguing with the one guy who's
Yeah.
talking to her and stuff,
Yeah.
and
That's
kept
like,
calling her a
give
bitch.
it to me.
Yeah.
Whatever. What did she? She had the best.
I wrote
I'm
down
this
her
kind of
back.
bitch, I
Yes.
growled.
And then
Yes, what
kills
kind
the
of
leader.
bitch are
Go,
you?
Poppy.
So-
What kind of bitch are you? Because he was trying to figure out if she was like wolven or, which also, is that not a little weird that he was trying to figure out if she was wolven or Atlantean?
Yeah. I mean, I
totally mistook that and thought he was like sexualizing her.
Oh,
Like,
no, I think he said
was
something about
trying
wolven,
to
doesn't
get
he?
like sexual favor from her. Like, what kind of bitch are you?
Well,
Would you
he.
do-
Oh, yeah.
Something to sew.
That's how I took that though. I didn't
Oh.
realize he was.
Yeah,
But he
yeah.
does say something about wolven. I thought he was meaning like bitch, like in literal.
Because
dog form.
he says, "Are you part dog or do you like to suck on things?"
'Cause I'll give
So-
you something to suck on.
Yeah. If you beg nicely, I can give you something to suck on.
Yeah.
Your face might be a mess, but your mouth just looks just fine. So that's why you took it that
Yeah.
way.
Okay, I'm like, did I just make this up in my head?
No, you did not.
No, this guy's just being terrible.
And
Got
then
it.
he goes, "What kind of bitch are you?" And she stabs him in the gut, says, "I'm this kind of bitch."
Amazing.
It was really.
It was very good.
Yeah.
I was
Um,
expecting more of a fight.
I know.
I'm like, I feel like this was-
I was like,
This
why
was-
isn't she using her mind powers to, like, this is another one of those times where I'm like, in battle,
Oh.
they were like, you're the warrior, you can.
I
Of
think she's
your-
still not used to doing that though. Like she's barely
And
doing
it is
it.
fitting that she
when
did it
she's
on Cass
calm.
for the first time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
but still,
Yeah.
I was
Like she's barely doing it.
And then so she runs, or Hawk runs to her. She runs to Hawk. I can't remember which. And
he
got
comes to her, I think, because
yeah, and he still has all
He
the
comes to
arrows
her.
sticking
Yeah,
out
he
of
still has
him.
all the
She goes,
arrows.
like, don't those hurt? Like, you should be taking them out. And he goes, they're nothing more than an annoyance. I'm like, okay.
just impaled.
And then his pupils start dilating, which we find
So-
out now what's going on.
Yeah. I was like, there's
'Cause
more to
that's
his
where
pupils. Ascended.
Kieran
Like,
is
is it ascended / Craven-like? Is it because he's short on blood? Like, her wounds seem to
Good
affect
for you.
that.
Oh, good call,
that.
Kristen.
Good call.
I just put, what's that about? He says that happens sometime. What the heck? So I was just like,
Because where does he do it?
And
I
he's
watched.
refusing.
Yeah.
and we
his-
find out why he's refusing.
That's why Kieran is talking to her.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you need to give him the okay, basically. And he would
Yeah.
never ask that of you.
Oh, my heart.
It even goes on, like, there's the barest hint of fangs, like, when he's speaking. Like, he normally
Can hide them.
can hide that. But, yeah. Like, her wound really seemed to affect that. And I was like, ooh.
And then we had another funny Kieran moment because he appears back in human form because he went woven for the attack.
Oh, and he's
And he's fully naked. And Poppy's like, oh my God, he must be so cold. And Kieran goes, I'm only a little cold, as you could probably tell.
And then
oh my
he
God.
was like, she doesn't get it. And she's
Yeah.
like, yes, I do.
And he's like, oh, reading more of the book or something.
Yes,
is
that's
it?
where the
Yeah.
book comes up.
Oh.
And so then they make it to Pompeii, which is kind of like their like resting ground or whatever, where they're gonna
Yes.
stay,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
On their way because it's such a long trip. And the vampire had come and killed everyone there. There was like 6. They said a specific number, so I wrote it down because I thought it was weird. But they said 656 people.
Yeah,
Like
it's
you would have
gross.
thought they would just said like 650. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is gonna mean anything. So I
Hmm.
wrote the number down. I don't know. I thought it was weird.
Yeah.
And then all because no one wanted to govern this far south. I said, what the fuck? Like, it's not
Oh,
like they were
yeah.
actively fighting them. They just, like, none of the vampire wanted to be that close.
We
to
don't
each other.
Yeah.
live here, so
You're
you
all
can't
dying.
either.
We can't let you to
Since
leave
we
if
can't
you're all-
control you
Yeah.
here.
We just gotta
like-
kill you. So fucked.
Yeah.
And then chapter ends with Nail saying how you never get used to death like this and how he wouldn't want to. Otherwise, the line between them and the vampire
Yeah.
is much too thin.
Even before this, I don't know what made me write this, but I wrote he put a mask up. Was it for his sake or for hers? Just doing this for his brother and her being part Atlantean. But at
I
some
think it
point,
was-
this is before we talk about Pompeii.
I think it was what's her name? Poppy talking about how Cass puts up masks, like puts up like a front. And I think when Kieran was there and was like, are you okay? You okay?
Yes.
And then she was like, there it is again, another mask that he just put up.
And I think it's Kieran talking to her, and I'm like, is Cass putting up this mask for like his own sake so that he doesn't fall even more in love with her, or for her sake because she said, I'm not going to marry, like I want to do this free? Is he trying to like give her a free out so that she doesn't see him falling in love with her?
Maybe.
And I was like, ugh.
Like every decision he makes is actually for her. And she's
I was like, I don't have any notes about Pompeii.
realizing.
Chapter 20.
But I also, I was like, what the fuck? The town of Pompeii. I don't get how they do it, but I wonder if the lack of emotion is it. It's a way for them to survive what they do. Like when they get turned to ascended.
Yeah.
They have to.
The emotions kind of
Like I wonder if like when
It's
it
just
first.
survival. Everything
Yes,
is,
it's
how
simply
do I
survival.
survive.
Like they give into the
I just gonna,
bloodlust.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like no, every decision they make is basically who am I gonna feed off of?
Yeah.
And if I'm not, you're waste to me.
How does chapter 22 actually start? Because I think this is one of the chapters.
We rode on in silence, passing the endless mounds of stones and the tiny and the
I
ruins
literally
of
go into
homes.
Quentin and Beckett, and I feel like something happened before then, and I didn't write it down.
I think they just traveled from there to the next place. and
She's
then
talking about how
they
she
meet
didn't
him.
know, and I think because I wrote, I wonder when or if Poppy will connect the evil to the queen she still thinks is good. So they're talking about how like, she doesn't believe what's happening. Like, I didn't know I didn't know it was like this. Actually, didn't know much about Pompeii or Spez's end, but I never thought this was the case. I believe these towns still exist. So did Victor. He talked about wanting to visit the bay. So I'm like, I wonder, like, when will she connect that the queen is part of this?
Because your notes are them getting to Spez's end.
Yeah,
and
they're talking to the young
at like
Quentin
some
and
intersection
Beckett
thing.
Yeah.
at like the hotel or whatever it is
Yes.
that they're staying at, whatever the
Because
case is.
I'm like, I'm even writing, like, Cass still feels guarded, and I want to know why.
Yeah, so I know one of these chapters where I was like, oh shit, I haven't taken a note in a minute, and I just picked up where I was, and I'm like, I'll go back, and then I never did. So I think it was this chapter. So is there anything else that happens before they get to the keep?
It was just him acting weird and not saying anything,
Okay.
and her not
Yeah.
saying anything about him not saying anything. And I was annoyed about it.
So then, I just put Quentin and Beckett sound so cute. Haha,
Yeah.
little because I kind of was picturing like young.
Yes.
I don't know if they
So,
actually were just
yeah.
that.
I think they're just,
They
the
were
young Atlantean
Okay.
reappeared.
Okay. And then they get into their room, and it's like a really comfy bed and whatever. And then Poppy goes to sleep, and
She
Hawk was
falls
not in the
asleep.
room at this point, right? She fell asleep
Correct.
alone.
Yeah.
And then she woke up and she's like, oh, my comfy hard bed. And she's like, what? A comfy hard bed. And then realizes that she's all tangled up in Hawk. And then I said, just admit your feelings for each other already. Because she's like thinking about
Yeah.
all the things that she's feeling. I'm like, and I think her arousal is kind of what
What
Yeah.
triggered
right?
once this, yes.
Yeah.
So then when Poppy goes to move, because she's like, okay, I just got to rip the Band-Aid off. I just got to move my head, like
Yeah.
whatever. Because she's trying to do it without waking him, because she doesn't
Yeah.
know that she was sleeping like that. But he
Big
obviously wakes up.
mistake.
Yeah. Opens his eyes, and the pupils are so dilated that there's just a thin layer of amber showing.
And I didn't catch here that they talk about pupils being dilated, and that before with Kieran and the whatever.
Oh,
they
you
were
didn't
doing.
catch
Yeah.
that? They were
No.
both, yeah. And then he shows off his fangs and growls at her. And I said, what the fuck is going on? Is he going to be like a shifter bloodline? And I said, and is he starting to shift? Or maybe he was always a shifter and was hiding it. I just said, he seems very animalistic right now. And then his eyes are completely black. It makes me think of these.
He's hungry.
Him hungry.
I'm hungry.
Poppy thinks that maybe he's having one of his nightmares, because he had talked about how
Yes.
he has nightmares and wakes up and whatever. And then I said, didn't his eyes do something similar when the Bone Clan attacked? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then Poppy's like, I'm gonna start listening to his emotions, and she uses her gift and senses a lot of hunger, like painful hunger,
Yes.
and a lot of darkness. And things start happening.
And then
Can I
you're
ruin this
aroused.
scene?
Yes,
Kicks
please
in.
do.
Can you what?
Ruin the scene.
Oh yeah.
Because she's like talking about how like his tongue rolls over the very center of her. And I'm like, is it the same if you did oral on her when she had her period? Like, would he get the benefits of the blood?
Interesting.
I told you I was going to ruin it. I'm like, oh.
I mean, if you were gonna ruin a spice scene, this would be the one, because
Yeah.
I was having conflicting, because I'm like,
Consent,
I was like,
but not consent.
is it the same? Yeah.
morally gray scenes, and I was like,
It's like she was thinking about it before,
yeah.
and then he was just doing it, but she
But
was
she
like,
was also kind of scared during it, which I didn't like.
I'm gonna let this happen. Like,
Yeah.
she literally
She lets
admitted,
it.
why did I not even try to stop
Yeah.
him? And then she also admits, I could have stopped him, but I didn't.
Right.
I didn't
Yeah.
even try.
So, like, in the end, I think it was essentially
Yes.
consent,
Yes.
but it's morally gray.
Yes.
Literally, that's all I'm thinking of. I'm like, does this, like, would that,
Would that make it worse?
Would that-
heighten his, like,
I'm like, oh, I mean, like, they gotta drink blood. I'm like, would that, but is it like,
The same kind.
is it, because it's like old sometimes, you know?
yeah.
I'm like, does this,
I think you might have ruined it for me, friend. I think I'm getting visuals. I just
You
did.
gave me more questions, honestly.
I'm a little...
I don't think I thought about it that long, but I was like, oh. And I don't even know why I thought of it, but I
Because- you know
did.
why? Because he wouldn't have known, and he just went for it, and maybe that was a thing.
That was literally, I'm just like, well, I think I was thinking he's hungry, and then he goes down on her. I'm like, what if there was blood? Like, would that help?
Would this be helpful or make it worse?
Yeah.
But see, I think why he was down there for two reasons. One, he sensed her arousal, but two, she mentions like a main artery. Isn't there a main artery in your thigh?
Yeah.
Like, and I think was the draw.
Interesting.
Or like he was replacing the physical hunger he felt with blood with sexual.
But I think she says something like, "Oh, he
Does she?
killed me right there," because it's something about the main artery. I remember her saying,
But still, he's not what he went for, which is
It's not.
interesting.
but she
I
said
think
he
it is a
could
mix
have.
of, yes.
So I think,
And maybe if we're going to talk,
Oh yeah, where I knew a major artery waited. Yeah.
yeah.
if we're going to talk about
And his
the
chin
bond,
grazes her thigh.
is maybe he literally couldn't harm her.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
maybe it literally is not in his ability
Yeah.
Because of
with
the
that bond. I don't know.
So then,
And then Kieran walks in. What up, guys?
First, yeah.
Sup.
First, he looks up and his eyes are now pitch black. She says they're not soulless like the Ascended, and I said, but it still sounds creepy to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Kieran busts into the room. I said, do we think he sensed something with his bond, or was it more just like the scream?
I think it's the scream.
He said scream,
Yeah.
but he could sense that hunger
Like, he
and
can
whatever
sense
when
emotions,
he
right?
was with. Yeah,
I don't think
he could sense the mental, like the state of Cass when he was near in hunger when the Ascended had him.
but
so I
why
would
would he have
imagine-
not jumped in before
I agree.
he's literally going down on her? Like, I think it was the scream, because I think he could, like,
He made a point to say, I think, this week,
Yeah,
too.
obviously, because he's like,
Yes.
obviously I misread the
It's the same,
situation.
like he said, but I'm like, do we think?
I think both.
Because I don't think he knows how close, like he knows how close Cass is to losing it. I don't think he would have come in on them with the potential to lose his life unless it was actually to save Poppy. So if she screamed,
And then he thought,
then he's like, okay, I have to save her from Cass. But I don't think he would have, like, without thinking she was in danger, would have interrupted.
Agreed.
then Cass growls at Kieran, and Kieran says, "Shit, Cass, I warned this would happen, my brother." And then I put, so what the fuck? Clearly Kieran knows something or is expecting something like this to happen. My thoughts are, why is he constantly checking on Cass to see how he was? And then he tried to play it off like it was because Kieran was a worrywart. But I don't think that was it at all, which, like, we find out later
Mhm.
what it was.
Yeah.
And then Kieran says, "I hope you're listening, Poppy. When he lunges for me, I need you to run. Go to the area near the stables, and it will have double doors. Find Neil or Delano and get ready." And I go, what the fuck?
I
What do you
was so,
think?
I was like getting emotional. I'm like, he's like ready to sacrifice himself for Poppy. Like, I was like,
I know.
I love Kieran.
I really want to
I
be your
love
brother.
Kieran.
No, I'm like set on that.
I don't think he's going to be, but I love him.
Chapter ends. Poppy uses her gift on him and puts a lot of happy feelings and thoughts into him. And she says, "It's okay, Hawk." And that sort of wakes him up. He jerked when he opened his eyes, they were amber again. Now Poppy can sense. Bleh. Now Poppy can sense shame and sadness in him again. He got off of her, closes her robe, and says, "I'm sorry." And he leaves without another.
I was like,
One
oh.
other thought I had. Do you think that Shay died because he got too hungry?
Oh,
I think there would be more guilt. I think she would sense more guilt instead of just sadness.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
That's a good call.
And I don't think Alice Steer would still like him.
That's
Very true.
Yeah.
Good call.
Very true. So then chapter 23, our last chapter, friends, we made it. How far into this pod are we, Kristen?
3 hours and 37 minutes.
You know, it's fine. It's fine.
Fine.
So I started it with Kieran has some explaining to do.
He honestly does a lot, though, which is great.
Yeah, he does. So Kieran is explaining that people of Cass's kind can become quite possessive, and that Cass had seen Kieran as a threat, which is why he growled at him. And Poppy asks, "A threat to who?" And he says, "To you." And she thinks it's because he wanted to feed on her, but I think it's because she is his, and it's a bond.
Yeah.
Kieran asks if Cass had a bite of her, and she says no. Kieran looks disappointed, so Poppy uses her gift and finds that he's feeling concerned, which I'm just realizing now he's sad about it because he was hoping he at least fed, so he's not crazy pants anymore, but he didn't, and so now he's still concerned that he's
Yeah.
crazy pants.
Yeah.
He won't feed on her.
Yeah.
Just realized that now. Sorry.
I feel
Which
like
is probably why he tells her.
I feel like in one of the next, like chapter 24, 25, like Poppy is going to be like, here, take
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
of my
please.
blood.
Because
Yeah.
that's what he says, right? He will refuse anyone else's
'Cause
blood
he's
now
like,
because,
Yeah.
and he will
essentially.
only take yours by permission.
Yeah. And Poppy asks, "Is this the sort of thing that will happen if an Atlantean doesn't feed?" And I said, "This reminds me of Twilight. Vamps start losing control if they don't get blood." And then Kieran says, "The eyes, yes, but biting Kieran's head off is due more to their morning activities." LOL. Kieran says, "Castile is more alive when he is with you." And I went, oh. So then Kieran starts telling the story of how Cass had saved the girl who had fell into the water.
Before, I think we'd get there. Like, why hasn't he fed? And I was like, I feel like we're getting a lot of good info on Atlanteans, like close to bloodlust, they need to feed. And I wrote protective AF over his mate.
Yes.
His heart bond.
And then Kieran and Poppy are becoming so dear to me.
I know. I love them.
Oh. So now they've walked down to the beach at this point, I think, right?
Yes.
Because he's like, "Do you want to get breakfast or would you like to go see the bay?"
Yes.
And she's like, "The
Yeah.
bay." So then they go down to the bay, and then Kieran starts telling the story about Cass had saved the girl who had fell into the water. Was it at the water they're at now, at the bay? Or is it just like he was thinking of water?
I think it was at the same
I
spot.
kind of think it was too. And he almost mentions Shay's name, but stops himself. And then Poppy asks if the friend was Shay, because he says like how it was
Yes.
Yeah.
like Cass and the friend that helped
Yes.
like revive the girl when they brought her up. And Kieran asks if it was Alistair, or Kieran figures out that it was Alistair who told her about Shay. And Kieran suggests never mentioning the name to Cass, because that is a road you don't want to travel with him ever.
I wonder, like, I was writing, like, why she seems to be a very sensitive subject, and, like, why?
That's almost why I was like, maybe he did something to her. Like, maybe Alistair would understand because he understood he was not himself. Like, I don't know.
Or
like,
my theory is right about she's bonded with the brother.
yeah.
And that's how
Or
she died.
I think
Could she have come to try and save Cass before her brother did, and he was in that shape and killed her there?
I don't think he killed her, but, like, I'm wondering if he just harbors a lot of guilt because they were supposed to be married, like, you know, all of this stuff. Like, maybe he did
I
think
just
he
feel like
cared
you'd be
for her.
not proud, but like that she died trying to save his brother, which is also what he's trying
But
to
if
do.
it was like his
it
idea,
seems weirdly a secret, I guess.
yeah, like if it was his idea, like we know
he's
Kieran didn't
sensitive.
go. We know Kieran didn't go to save Cass, but like if she was bonded, if we go off the theory that she's bonded to Malik, and it was Cass's idea, and like she got killed somehow doing that, then it was like
That's
it's
true.
because
It's my fault.
yes,
That's true.
it's my fault she's dead. It's my fault Alistar lost her daughter. Like it's my fault. It's my fault.
That's true.
Not to like
No,
I just
I get it. Yeah,
you know.
It would cause guilt for sure.
I just don't think like if it was your kid, like you could just forgive that.
No, you could not. I agree.
Facts. Kieran says that normally Cass can go longer between feedings, but he has given Poppy blood twice. Plus, he had been injured, which resulted in him needing blood faster than normal. So I said, I'm wondering if this is why Atlanteans are not supposed to share their blood with those that have mortal blood in them. And it's because it can drain them faster. And then Poppy says something, because I didn't write down what Kieran says before. Something about, like, for people you love or whatever. And Poppy goes, loved? Well, he doesn't care about me. And I'm like, Poppy, you're so fucking dumb.
Right?
Got it out.
She
And
talks
he
about
basically is like that. Like, are you stupid? You love him. He loves you.
She says, even when I thought he was a royal guard and would want to have would have to basically go into hiding with me, I wanted to be with him, to stay with him somehow, because he made me feel like I was alive. I did care for him. I cared for him a lot. And then Kieran is like, he was Castile then, just like he's Hawk now, and you know that you just aren't ready to accept it. I was like, go off, King Kieran.
Right. That too. I wrote the exact thing. I love Kieran.
Like it is.
And then Kieran says, do you know what happens when an Atlantean cares for another? They find the idea of feeding from someone else repellent. And I said, that's why Hawk hasn't said for days. It's because he loves Poppy and he only wants her. Oh.
And he'd rather go crazy pants starving.
Yep.
Because he's not going to take it against her.
No.
And Kieran says he thinks that the feeling of familiarity between Poppy and Hawk goes deeper than them just being Atlantean. He thinks that it's something rarer than that, deeper than that. And I said, the bond. It's the bond, right? Chapter ends. Kieran, I think you're heartmates. And I went, this story has to stop. It's a bond. Like a mating bond. It has to be. Oh my God, I want to keep reading.
I know. I wrote heartmates. I knew it.
Worse. I even double checked.
it.
Was it chapter 23 or 24?
I know. Like,
oh, it's 23.
So that's where we leave it off, friends. We find out that they are heartmates, heart bonded, however it was.
Heartmates.
Heartmates.
So we're going to find out more about that in our next pod. I'm very excited.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. You know, hopefully these aren't 4-hour-long podcasts every time. We're going to try real hard.
Or you love them so much, you're glad they're that long.
More.
Listen to us go off on our random series.
You want to hear us for 4 hours.
We're keeping a pregnant lady up past her bedtime, friends. So
It's a work night, too.
Yeah, y'all have to drive home.
I may just listen to the next episode
there you go.
on my way home.
Gotta love them audiobooks,
Find
baby.
more about this heartmate.
All right, Amanda, do you want to give our people the socials?
Oh, I would love to. Please comment, like us, follow us on all social media platforms, whichever is your favorite, at Your Bookmark Pod. And of course, you can email us, yourbookmarkpod@gmail.com. I will check it 30 times a day. So please know that we will see what you send. We will incorporate you into our future podcasts in any way that we can.
Because, like, long-term goals, this is going to be like a we're going to record it and upload it.
Yeah.
We'll be on top of it. That's the
Yes.
plan.
Yes. Yes.
So,
And also too, if you haven't already, please like and comment our
All the channels.
To this Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. I don't care wherever you're listening. Like, comment. Tell us what you like, what you don't like.
yes.
We're a growing, learning pod, and we want all the feedback we can get. So please lay it on us.
Play it.
Right.
All right, guys.
We gotta go, guys. We gotta go.
Bye.
We'll chat with you all at the next chapter.
Oh, yes. Bye.